and fast shipping on all precious metals delivered to your doorstep. Don't wait for politicians to decide your future. Safeguard your wealth from Wall Street, big banks, and corrupt officials. Whether you want a precious metals IRA or a private investment, don't wait for another collapse like 2008. The world is changing. Are you ready? Call the Gold Silver Group now for free information at 800-679-0870. That's 800-679-0870. 800-679-0870. That's 800-679-0870.
Audi has been fined over $900 million to settle an investigation by German prosecutors into violations of diesel emissions rules.
Prosecutors in Munich say Audi's internal oversight procedures failed to detect the fact that cars it produced were equipped with illegal software, allowing them to be placed on the market and sold to consumers. Audi's agreed to pay the fine and accepted responsibility. The parent group has already admitted that engineers deliberately designed a mechanism to subvert emissions testing processes. Audi's former chief executive, Rupert Stadler, is currently in prison, awaiting trial over his alleged involvement in the affair. The scandal has so far cost the Volkswagen Group more than $30 billion.
That's the BBC's Theo Leggett reporting. The point person for the Canadian government's legalization of pot says Canadians will know soon what will happen with previous criminal convictions for pot possession. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. China is going all in on facial recognition technology.
The main airport in Shanghai is now using the technology to fully automate flight check-in. Part of an ambitious rollout of facial recognition systems in China that is raising privacy concerns. Beijing is pushing to become a global leader in the field. The airport now has self-service kiosks for flight and baggage check-in, security clearance, and boarding, all powered by facial recognition technology. Rich Thomason reporting.
6 days after Hurricane Michael ripped through the Florida Panhandle, nearly 137,000 remain without power in an 11-county region that stretches from the Gulf of Mexico to the Georgia border. Michael slammed into the region on October 10th, and nearly a week later, most people living in small rural counties near the border still do not have power. Officials say 16 people have died from the storm. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Normal blood pressure, naturally. How would that make you feel?
I'm Don from New Mexico. January of 2000, I had a heart attack. Then my real health began going downhill. I had high blood pressure, diabetes, poor vision. I wasn't sleeping well. I was a mess.
Don reports dramatic improvements with Heart and Body Extract.
I started taking Heart and Body Extract. From within a few days, I started sleeping better. My blood pressure normalized. My diabetes normalized. My sleep improved.
Experience these benefits and more when your body heals itself with the assistance of Heart and Body Extract. Order at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305. That's hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305.
And folks, I did not expect this at all. By the 7th, 8th, and 9th day, I saw dramatic improvements from taking Heart and Body Extract.
Heart and Body Extract comes with a 100% ironclad money-back guarantee. Details at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305 for Heart and Body Extract.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. We invite you to join us here on the radio waves. You can take control of the airwaves here toll free at 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Also, we've got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms that are open and available to you over at discord.lrn.fm. You do need the Google. You need the Discord app, which is a free app that you can run on your Android, you can run on iOS, and or whatever laptop/desktop computer you might have. They've got cross-platform. It's available for all those things. Discordapp.com is where you can download it, and then join discord.lrn.fm once you get your account created, and you'll be good to go. In fact, there were a lot of people hanging out in the Discord voice chat last night, which was particularly entertaining. You and I were both in there for some amount of time, Vincent. And it is Ian and Vincent with you. Vincent, it's been a while, actually, since you've been a co-host here on Free Talk Live. Welcome back.
Oh, thank you. It's good to be back. And you read my mind. I wasn't saying anything until the delay was fully charged, because it has been a while.
Because normally you do an internet show on LRN.FM, which is called Questioning Authority, on Saturday nights. And so, did somebody order some sandwiches here? Because
Thank you for the plug. I mean,
because I didn't.
Well, I'll take them.
We've got a delivery man here who's just showed up. Thanks, dude. got the wrong house.
We got to get
Close.
better. We got to get better security here. I mean, he could have been having like bombs or guns in that thing.
So yeah, you can bring up whatever you want here on Free Talk Live, and you can, of course, take control of the airwaves. But there are some words you're not supposed to say on those airwaves.
There's 7 of them, I hear.
At least, there's not actually a list. The FCC never really publishes any kind of list of these are the words you're not supposed to say.
They'll know it when they hear it.
But yeah, exactly. And they do generally have to respond to complaints. So there is that. Although in some towns and cities in the United States, like Myrtle Beach, I've actually had this story in my show prep for a little while, and this seems like an appropriate time to bring it up. According to WPDE out of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, now if you use profanity in the streets of Myrtle Beach, you could be arrested and charged under the city's disorderly conduct law. According to PDE, Americans have freedom of speech, but police in Myrtle Beach want you to watch your mouth. Bad words could cost you more than just a slap on the wrist. In the city, you could face a fine or even jail time. Profane language, they say, falls under the city's disorderly conduct offense. Myrtle Beach spokesbureaucrat Mark Crua says it's not about the money. It's about making sure that people do not get out of hand and keeping the peace. The court makes the ultimate decision, but it could cost you up to $500 and or 30 days in jail.
Talk about a curse jar.
That's where you put money in if you say a bad word, like if you're in a contest with somebody to not say bad words.
I've always understood it as like it's a household. If they have children or they're just trying not to, they just put money in the curse jar. And you're going to spend it anyways, but it goes like a vacation or something.
Unless you curse, and then what happens to the money? Then it goes back to the person who put it in there, or wait, no, it's only if you curse you put the money in the jar.
So like if let's say a family, they want to save up for like an ice cream day or pizza night or a vacation, they would use the money from the curse jar. So I mean, I guess it's a good exercise. There's like a cute exercise in not using bad words.
Quote, if you utter what is essentially fighting words designed to provoke a violent reaction from somebody else, that's where you'll run afoul of this ordinance, explained Crua. The Sun News found the city issued almost 300 tickets last year for profane language. Brian Murphy, and by the way, apparently each ticket averaged about $77. So let's see, 300 times 77. That's a cool 23 grand in fines.
But it's not about the money, Ian.
No,
it's not about the money.
This is about teaching people a lesson in civility. We can't have people saying things, with that whole freedom of speech thing. Brian Murphy, on behalf of the Myrtle Beach Police Department, issued the following statement, quote, a person would violate Ordinance 14-61B1 if he or she uses a language likely to provoke a violent reaction from another person. The ordinance lists several examples of the types of words which are unlawful. The penalty for conviction could include a fine and or jail time. We encourage everyone to avoid violating this ordinance by speaking to others with the same respect and kindness that he or she deserves.
Trying to turn a town into a kindergarten.
Now, what I'd like to know is, I do want to find out more about exactly what they mean here, because, using the F word or the S word or, words we can't say on the air here, well, there's a lot of circumstances where those aren't designed to provoke a violent response. So is it just like, I'm going to effing hurt you? That's what's banned? Because that's a threat.
Yeah, saying you're going to hurt someone is illegal anyways. I think they put
you're effing ugly or something like that? I mean, what is it?
I suspect, right? I mean, unless it says, I don't know. I suspect it's to avoid it if, like, let's say there's a cop walking by and someone drops, an anvil on their foot or something, and they, they say a bad word, like, Tom and Jerry stuff. I think it's just so that doesn't happen. Or if, like, a cop is trying to get someone to stop resisting, he could yell, "Stop effing resisting," and hit the person a bunch of times, and they won't get in trouble with themselves.
Well, right. The cops are almost always exempt from the very ordinances that they frequently are enforcing. I do have the ordinance actually pulled up here, so we'll see exactly, what some of the claims are. But on its face, this is an unconstitutional, clearly Just absolutely wrong and unconstitutional ordinance.
Oh, a cop threatened me with that in Concord, and I just laughed in his face, and he walked
with
away.
arrest for profanity?
Well, not arrest. He said it was during the 420 protest, and Rob from Vermont said it was at the gun control protest, and he said, "Oh, this is BS," and the cop is like, "Hey, watch it, bud." And I was like, he's like, there's an ordinance again. And I said, what? I think it was decency or whatever they called it. And I said, well, hasn't that been like shut down in court a bunch of times? He was like, yeah, but it also hasn't. And I said like some bad words behind him, and he didn't do anything.
According to this statute here, or this ordinance, it says it shall be unlawful for any person within the city limits to intentionally engage in any act or conduct inciting public disorder or a breach of the peace in light of the surrounding circumstances of time, place, or nearness of other persons, by making, uttering, or directing toward another person any lewd, obscene, or profane, or libelous expletive, or epithets, or fighting words, which as a matter of common knowledge when addressed to the ordinary citizen are inherently likely to provoke violent reactions, including but not limited to calls, threats, and invitations to immediately engage in physical violence, fisticuffs, duel, or personal combat.
I bet they added the lewd just to get the feminists on board.
But it does say here that anything that is, lewd, obscene, or profane. So it's not just about fighting words. It's about anything that they think would make someone want to fight you, which that's a fairly large range of things. I mean, because there's some violent people out there who they don't take being insulted real kindly. And this is essentially, is the heckler's veto the right example? There's a certain type of courtroom terminology for the heckler's veto. The idea that you shouldn't be able to say something because somebody's going to hurt you or somebody's going to do something violent in response to you, right? So the idea is if somebody hits you because you say, Vincent, I don't like your effing hair, it's really ugly, and you just take a swing at me because it's, you took a lot of time to style your hair and, you think it looks pretty nice, and your girlfriend told you that it looks pretty nice, but I hurt your feelings, so you decide to take a swing at me and attack me over that. I'm sorry, but you're the one who's in the wrong.
Oh, absolutely.
Because, here we are again. We're back to preschool. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. This is the way that adults are supposed to handle their conversations when somebody is instigating or attempting to instigate with you on the streets. The appropriate thing to do is to not escalate that situation into violence, but to de-escalate it. But instead here, what this ordinance does is it blames the speaker essentially for the actions of the supposed victim of the speech. Like, oh, well, if somebody's likely to get mad and attack you and violate the law, because that would be an actual battery against another human being, then you would get arrested as well, just simply for saying words that are, again, considered to be profane or epithets or libelous expletives. 855-450-FREE. Unfortunately, ordinances like this have to usually get challenged in court before they'll get overturned, and most people, as you know, just pay up. It's Free Talk Live.
What is it costing you in vet bills for that convenience of just pulling open a bag of
formulated, extruded, processed cereal bits that cost a ton of money anyways?
How do you feed your dog to derive not only energy, but a good coat, bright eyes, and a great attitude?
Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
I found his raw meat diet on Dynovite.com. With just the raw meat and the eggs and the Dynovite and the Super Omega on top of it.
Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
Ground beef, white rice, eggs, including the shells, and the Dynovite supplement, and then the Lico Chops.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
It just balances out his body and his mind and his spirit.
Adding Dynovite to their diet has every single dog in my kennel looking better than they have ever looked.
Their skin is so much better now that they're on the raw diet. I don't even give them the kibble anymore.
DINOVITE.com.
The Liberty Dollar was so successful that the United States government had to take it down, and its founder, Bernard von Nothaus. Now Bernard's son Extra has launched Liberty Dollar 2. LD2 is a cryptocurrency, but each token is backed by the same gorgeous fine silver rounds that Liberty Dollar has always been known for. Your silver is secured in an audited vault and can be redeemed at any time. There's only a few thousand LD2 Zero tokens left in the crowd sale at ld2coin.io. Get yours. ld2coin.io. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live. Dial in, toll free, bring up whatever is on your mind. Our number here, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You know, if you're actually in some sort of physical encounter with another human being, we were going to get into the definition between assault and battery here, based on a story out of Myrtle Beach, which they've apparently made it illegal to use profanity if the government determines that it was likely to incite someone to violence, is the claim. And we can continue with that here and talk about more if you'd like. Also, we'll go to your calls and thoughts at 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Or Discord call-in lines are open for you over at discord.lrn.fm. It's Ian and Vincent here. Also joining us, Michael Hampton. Hey, Michael.
Good evening.
It's good to have you back on here on Free Talk Live. I do want to let you know about Blink motion-activated HD cameras. You want to talk about an easy-to-set-up and effective system for protecting your house and your family. Blink is that. In fact, Blink is such a great product, Amazon purchased the company within the last couple of years. Go to blinkprotect.com/FTL, like Free Talk Live. You'll save 15%. You unbox these cams, you put the batteries in, and those batteries, by the way, last up to 2 years. And then you just put the camera up wherever it is you want it. You didn't get the right angle, no problem. Just move it. There's no dragging wires through walls or any of this crazy, difficult setup that you usually have with most wired camera systems. These guys make it super easy. Go to blinkprotect.com/FTL to get yours. There's no contracts, there's no subscriptions, and you can monitor your cams from your smartphone. It'll send you clips when something happens in front of the cams. and it's super, super easy to set up. BlinkProtect.com/FTL to save 15%. As we go to your calls and thoughts, we can talk more about assault and battery and this ridiculous ordinance that's banning apparently people from using profanity in the streets of Myrtle Beach. But first, we go to the phones here to Virginia, where Free Market Penguin is on the line on our Discord on-air call-in line rooms. Go ahead, Penguin.
Hey, Ian, Vincent, and Mike. Hey, I wanted to call about the Saudi journalist, the whole controversy that he was killed at the Saudi consulate in Turkey.
I don't know anything about it. What's the story?
You didn't. Yeah, it's been all over the news. It's a huge, major. But I know you don't follow necessarily all of it because you follow so many different kind of news stories. So I'm not surprised that I have to kind of do a recap. But it's basically that this guy was a Saudi, almost to the level of a dissident, but a major critic of the monarchy, the autocratic rulers of Saudi Arabia, which I can't stand. Of course, we can go into that. But he had to go to Turkey. Actually, I thought he was living there, but apparently he's a Washington Post permanent resident, U.S. resident, and a Washington Post columnist, and a well-liked and important guy. And like I said, a critic of the Saudi regime. And he went to the Turkish consulate, or the Saudi consulate in Istanbul, Turkey. He walked in, never walked out. And they've been asking him, and I've been hearing the breaking stories about this hour by hour for like 2 weeks now.
So is the idea that it was the Saudi government that murdered this man?
He walked into the consulate and never walked out, and his girlfriend was waiting for him. And they're just like, dude, you have to say what happened. And every government is pressuring Saudi like it's a huge controversy, which it's funny if you think about it, because about all the millions and millions of Yemenis that are suffering and dying of cholera and famine because of the filthy Saudi bombing and blockading these people's ports so food and medicine can't get in. But at the same time, people are with this one guy, this one journalist who's an American resident, not a citizen, I guess people are, the politicians, U.S. politicians, Republicans, these people are just finally saying, this is the last straw. We are sick of the Saudis just being like spoiled child children. They can get away with whatever they want. This is it. This guy just walked into your consulate, which, that's supposed to be like, diplomacy. It's supposed to be a kind of a sacred thing. Walked in and didn't walk out. You think everybody's just going to forget about it. And apparently and this is so weird, they have some evidence. So either they were bugging the consulate, or they said, I heard some random headline buried somewhere that they had a recording from a smartwatch, and there's this rumor that going around unconfirmed that the Saudis are going to make a statement where they own up to it, but Trump keeps saying that he believes they didn't do it, but they're going to own up to it and say that it was a botched thing. They had like a hit squad of 15 guys that flew in the country just to deal with this situation. So it's a real mess. I'm surprised.
I mean, as somebody who's coming into this blind, is this the guy Jamal Khashoggi? Is that him?
Khashoggi or Khashoggi, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
is it that he's like a critic of the Saudi government? Like, why are they trying to, or why did they murder him?
I never heard of him, but he was a major critic, almost to the level of a dissident. And the thing is, they blatantly, basically, he walked into his consulate to get some papers because he had to get permission, I guess, to marry a Turkish woman, and did not walk out. And they're just expecting to get away with it. And now the rumors going around that they're going to have to be eventually pressured into admitting is that it was a botched interrogation where they were going to then, they were going to get a confession out of him and render him, do a rendition back to Saudi Arabia to get locked up.
Well, they rendered him, but in a kind of a different way. According to the story here, MiddleEastEye.net reports that it took 7 minutes for Jamal Khashoggi to die. A Turkish source who's listened in full to an audio recording of the Saudi journalist's last moments. He told Middle East Eye.
I don't know how they got that.
Khashoggi was dragged from the consul general's office at the Saudi consulate in Istanbul and onto the table of his study next door. According to the Turkish source, horrendous screams were then heard by a witness downstairs. Quote, the consul himself was taken out of the room. There was no attempt to interrogate him. They had come to kill him, the source told Middle East Eye. The screaming stopped when Khashoggi, who was last seen entering the Saudi consulate on the 2nd of October, was injected with an as-yet unknown substance. Salah Mohammed al-Tubaigi, who has been identified as the head of forensic evidence in the Saudi General Security Department, was one of the 15-member squad who had arrived in Ankara earlier that day on a private jet. He had began to cut Khashoggi's body up on a table in the study while he was still alive, according to the Turkish source. The killing took 7 minutes. As he started to dismember the body, Tubaigi put on earphones to listen to music. He advised other members of the squad to do the same. He is quoted as saying, according to a source, quote, "When I do this job, I listen to music. You should do that too."
What do you think he listened to?
I don't have any idea.
Steelers wheel.
That is breaking. Like, I don't know if it's non-confirmed breaking like news though.
Yeah,
I've been hearing this by the hour.
Yeah, I just got it off the top of the Drudge Report. It was the top linked story up there. 3-minute version of the audio tape has been given to a Turkish newspaper, Sabah, but they have yet to release it. Turkish source told the New York Times that Tubaigi was equipped with a bone saw. He's listed as the president of the Saudi Fellowship of Forensic Pathology and a member of the Saudi Association for Forensic Pathology.
Even when there were zero details, like it just seemed like this is going to be such an incredibly lurid story. I've been following it and then hearing it on the BBC at night radio, it's crazy.
So, to date, Saudi officials have strongly denied any involvement with his disappearance and say he left the consulate soon after arriving. However, they've not presented any evidence to corroborate their claim and say video cameras at the consulate were not recording at the time.
Of course not. They never are.
Surprise!
They record them going in, but not out.
Thanks for your call tonight, Free Market Penguin. Sounds like a sick story. And, of course, you're welcome to join us, comment, and bring up whatever's on your mind. Also, we can talk about Canada. Coming up tomorrow, apparently, is the big legalization day across the entire country for cannabis.
The United States of Empire is a book that claims the United States is the empire of the world. George Washington had warned us against foreign wars. The United States of Empire shows that World Wars I and II left England broken. Its former colony, the U.S., had to save the empire. Was there ever a vote? Who do we fight for? The deep state began with World War I. The United States of Empire by James Dunn. Available at Amazon Books.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
According to a report released today, the vast majority of American children lack the presence of a strong, sculpted male supermodel, with less than 4% of youngsters being taught the important values of respecting runway etiquette, maintaining a glistening six-pack, and walking a catwalk with verve and flair.
The number of strong-jawed male supermodels in children's lives has declined to record lows, leaving the majority of our youth unaware of how to get comfortable in front of the camera during an underwear shoot, or even perform something as simple as a sexy but stylish full turn.
Stanton went on to say that impoverished communities were especially affected by the lack of Adonis-like male figures, and added that children in lower-class homes were over 80% less likely to grow into the type of high-cheekboned, studly he-men that succeed in haute couture society.
Quite frankly, these children are just not getting the necessary influence of a dynamic male supermodel who can both make puppy dog eyes at the camera and also radiate that sort of raw, unabashed machismo that forces fashionistas to look up and take notice.
This is the Onion News Network.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial on in toll free and bring up whatever's on your mind here tonight. Our number for you is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Here in the studio with you tonight, it's me, Ian,
Michael, and Vincent.
Indeed. So you can also join us on our Discord on-air call-in line rooms. We've actually already had a couple people call in there. So go to discord.lrn.fm and you can do that. I want to make sure you know we're doing a giveaway, and that winner for the 1.75 Zen is going to be chosen tomorrow. So you still have time to get your entry in to win some Zen. We've been giving away Zen over the last 9 or 10 weeks here on Free Talk Live. You can email Daryl at freetalklive.com, DARRYL at freetalklive.com. Send your Zen address in the email, and in the subject line, you put a number between 1 and 999. And if your number is closest to the one that's been randomly selected already, then you will win the 1.75 Zen. What is Zen? It's a cryptocurrency. It's part of the Horizon platform, which used to be known as Zencash, now Horizon. You go to horizon.global to learn more. You can grab their official wallet there. You could also use Koinomi if you like. They have it. They've got Zen in there. Horizon.global, HORIZEN.global. Again, to get in the contest, winner's going to be chosen around noon Eastern tomorrow, so you still got a little time. Email Daryl at freetalklive.com, and in the subject line, you put a number between 1 and 999, and in the email, you put your public transparent Zen address. So there you go, horizon.global. As we continue here, we're going to continue with your calls and thoughts, actually going to Anomik on the lines on our Discord, on-air call-in line rooms. Go ahead, Anomik.
Hey guys, I was calling to talk about the Teamsters and UPS recently had a contract negotiation.
Oh,
and they represent.
Yeah, and UPS is a unionized delivery company, where, as I understand it, FedEx is not. Go ahead.
That's correct. And I know you guys are always talking about Amazon and that recent story with $15 an hour for them.
Oh, where Amazon raised their hourly, I guess, wage for their workers in their factories and such.
And to get an idea of our situation, our union recently negotiated $13 an hour for employees.
Oh, I take it you're a worker for UPS?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
And so they negotiated $13 an hour for employees that are required to pay 2.5 hours of worth of wages per month to the union under, the states that don't have right to work. We voted down the contract 55 to 45, and the national leadership of the Teamsters went ahead and rammed it through anyway, using some, bylaws and whatnot.
So just to be clear, you're saying the people of UPS who are in this union voted down a contract proposed
and the Teamsters, the heads of this union, pushed it through. Is that what happened?
Exactly. So the contract represents about 250,000, and about 95,000 people voted.
Okay.
And they used a bylaw that said if there's a participation under a certain percentage, they could override the vote. So despite the fact that we voted...
So not enough people participating in this vote meant that the administration of the Teamsters union were able to just do whatever they wanted?
That's what they're claiming. The language says if it's under 50% vote, that they can require a 2/3 majority, which we did not reach, on a final offer. And the first offer, they invoked that language, which I don't understand how a first offer can be a final offer.
Yeah.
But
so wait a minute. How? Okay. So I guess I've never been in a union, so I don't know how everything exactly works. So the proposal was to raise the hourly rate. What else? I mean,
it was our entire contract. It had a lot of different. For the audience, it's not relevant, but there's a lot of different factors, and we decided that we did not like the contract they negotiated. Basically,
was there something in there that was
behalf.
like particularly objectionable that you were like, no
Well,
way?
that one specifically that I mentioned, that they're paying $13 an hour when Amazon pays $15, and we have to pay dues to the union. And we're getting less
would that
than
have been
Amazon.
a raise to 13 from something else?
Yeah, they're currently at $10.50.
Okay.
And they switched it to 13.
Why have I heard that I remember being at a local bar here, one of the cryptocurrency accepting places here in town, and actually talking with a UPS driver who claimed he was making like 30-something bucks an hour. Is it like
seniority? Probably.
The top rate driver rate is very good.
Okay.
But for that's for the starting rate for like warehouse employees, which is more comparable to Amazon.
I see.
Like,
so
we
you're
have a
just
bunch of different
you're talking about the
positions.
jobs where it's people throwing packages in the
well,
the
we don't
warehouse.
throw them; we gently move them.
And so much of that's automated already,
Is it?
A lot of it is. But I wanted to talk about, like, the union very strongly pushes against right to work. They push for exclusive representation. And it's interesting that a lot of my coworkers that are more of the Democrat-leaning people are now saying, what can we do now that the union ignored our vote? And the answer is because you push those laws, nothing. Like, we can't replace the union. You're not allowed to use anybody but them. Like, they enacted, it's called exclusive representation. You must use that union, and you can't replace them. And, for the people that are in the states that don't have right to work, they don't have the option to withdraw. So you either find a new career or you stay in the union.
If you're in a state with right to work, what does that mean for you? Like, you can just say goodbye to the union and then be a non-union employee?
It's a process, but you can stop paying dues. And because they have exclusive representation, they still must represent you.
Is that a federal thing? Is the exclusive representation a federal concept?
Yeah, so they push that through because otherwise, the company could say, hey, you can join this other union and we'll pay you $5 more. And, they could break up the union that way.
So what happens what happens when the contract expires then?
It already expired, and we're working under an extension currently. So it expired in August, I believe.
Just
we're
because
still working
the
under
contract
the
expired, but you still can't form another union or just tell the union to go away.
Correct. So that's what the cronyism is they go with the government and pass those laws, and you can withdraw and replace the union, and it's like years-long process. But basically, they have themselves entrenched to where there's nothing you can do with them. And then at this point, though, there's people that have been hardcore, we need this, get rid of right to work and all that. And now I'm hearing them say, what can we do? And there's no accountability because you can't take your dues from them.
Right.
They get
There's
them
no
matter
flexibility, right? There's no ability to make your own decision in a marketplace of labor organization. There is no marketplace for labor organization because of this exclusivity that you're talking about. That's really unfortunate.
But I do want to plug real quick, because all my coworkers are going to hear this. Do write your locals and encourage them to put some pressure on the national level. It's kind of like state and federal.
Mm-hmm.
And if you talk to your locals and try and get them to put whatever pressure they can on the national.
Locals are like the local Teamsters.
Yeah, it's like each like city has their own meeting hall, and it's not a finished process at this point, but like we're doing what we can.
Wow. Hey, thanks for sharing that story with us tonight, because I don't, like I said, I've never been involved with a union. I had no idea how difficult the processes were, and it sounds like they are really entrenched, and that you basically have essentially no ability to have any kind of input. Like you said, if there's less than 50% that vote in this case, then the votes are completely irrelevant to whoever the administrators are.
44% turnout is good turnout.
You would think.
I think.
You would think.
And do you have a guess what the name of our union president is?
I have no idea.
Jimmy Hoffa Jr.
Oh, my.
Thanks for the call tonight,
Thanks, guys.
I appreciate the story. He's there on our Discord on-air call-in lines, and you could be on there as well and sound almost like you're sitting in the studio with us. Go to discord.lrn.fm to join us there. We're going to continue with your calls and thoughts, whether you want to weigh in on unions or free speech bans, like in Myrtle Beach, where apparently profanity in certain circumstances has been banned. Also, the good news coming out of Canada, and I would say it's good
news.
Relatively. Yeah, it's relatively good, and we'll get into that because, Vincent, you're actually originally from Canada, and so we'll talk about that coming up. Our toll-free number, 855-450-FREE if you want to join us, 855-450-3733.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved Lico Chops with omega-6, omega-3, vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. And dogs love it. Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite.
DINOVITE.com.
Your property and your family are precious. Protect them with Blink, like we have. Blink motion-activated HD cameras are wire-free, set up fast, and their batteries last up to 2 years. And Blink's live feed option lets you monitor what's happening at home anytime, anywhere from your smartphone. No contracts, no subscriptions, and Blink works with Alexa. You can get 3 Blink cameras for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
The Epson EcoTank printer, available at your local Staples, comes with up to 2 years of ink right in the box. That's up to 2 years worth of reports and proposals. Up to 2 years of not running out of ink when you need to print 5 copies of a report for a meeting starting now. And during Staples printing event, save $100 on the Epson EcoTank 4750. Plus, trade in your old printer and get another $50 off. Up to 2 years worth of ink and no hassle printing. Now at Staples. Offer ends 10/2018.
Technology Truths, brought to you by Geico.
Technology Truths.
Truth. You have 14 login passwords, and you can't remember any of them.
Doug 1. Doug 2. Doug is awesome. Doug is awesome 1, 2, 3.
Truth. It's so easy to switch and save on car insurance at Geico.com.
Doug is super cool, &_, exclamation point, 1985. Knew it.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. Dial in toll free and bring up whatever you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Or you can call us on Discord over at our Discord server. Go to discord.lrn.fm. The top 3 rooms on our Discord are the on-air call-in lines, and you can jump in there, and we will join you, and you'll get on the air and sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. In the studio, by the way, it's me, Ian.
Michael.
And Vincent.
Freedom's Phoenix is a liberty-oriented news aggregation site. If you want the newest and freshest stories and perspectives on current events from those who value liberty, then freedomsphoenix.com has it. Their daily dispatch is the best way to stay up to date on science, technology, historical findings, liberty news, government overspending, and the rise of the police state. Freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. That's freedomsphoenix.com. As we continue, we'll take more of your calls and thoughts. We go to Jim. He's in Vermont, watching us on our Twitch feed over at twitch.lrn.fm. Go ahead, Jim.
Hey, and thanks for taking my call. Wanted to say I saw your panel discussion at the blockchain conference last week.
Oh, great.
I really enjoyed everything you had to say.
Were you there in real life, or did you see it on YouTube?
Yeah, I was streaming it on YouTube, but I really enjoyed it. One thing I did have a question about was a little unclear to me why you weren't wearing a shirt during the whole thing.
Well, I actually was wearing a shirt during that. Maybe you were fantasizing that I wasn't?
Hey, Vincent, can you pop that shirt off? We could celebrate Topless Tuesday.
Oh, sure thing. Hold on.
Wait a minute. You got to get him to pay you for that, Vincent.
Well, let's see how. Well, not through via the Twitch.
Oh, yeah,
I
that's
don't
right.
see
We can't
any
ask
money.
for money because that's like, yeah, that's true.
That's
a good point.
What do you, so many people who think I'm underage that probably the feds will bust in here again.
I think he wants you to take both shirts off.
Both shirts
That's the thing. Is that right, Jim?
Yeah,
or
let's get them off.
All right.
You're actually going to do it?
Yeah, hell yeah.
I didn't know if this was is this a violation of Twitch rules?
I need you to breathe into your.
You're not trying to get us banned from Twitch, are you, Jim?
No, I wouldn't do that to you guys.
Okay, all right. Oh, all right. Thanks for the call, man. By the way, I appreciate the compliment. He's referring to the panel discussion that we had last week at the Free State Blockchain and Digital Assets Conference, where it was me, Derek J. Freeman, Daryl Perry, and Chris Reitman. So basically, 4 hosts of Free Talk Live talking about the... Wow. Okay, you actually did give him a little flash there, Vincent. Anyway... It was us talking about why New Hampshire is the crypto mecca, the place for people who are into cryptocurrency to actually come to and use it in real life. You can buy things in real life. I just actually had lunch today at a local barbecue food truck called Hot Hogs. I paid for that with Dash. And the day before that, I bought something else with crypto, and I'm frequently using cryptocurrency in real life. And so we kind of went through, it was an hour-long panel. We went through some of the reasons why New Hampshire is very, very special and very unique when it comes to not only spending crypto in real life, but some of the other cool things that we've got going on here, like the cryptocurrency protection legislation that came about within the last couple of years as well. So if you want to check that video out, it's been on Free Keen's YouTube channel for a couple of days. I just haven't taken the time to blog about it yet. So I will be posting that on freekeen.com. But if you want to see it sooner rather than later, it's already there on our YouTube. We can continue. You can take control of the airwaves here. Let's go to, we got Evang Liberty. He's on the line on our Discord on-air call-in line rooms. Go ahead, Evang Liberty.
How are you this evening?
Where are you calling from?
Virginia.
All right. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Okay, so before I go on, I want to give a quick shout out to our good buddy James Witt. He always sends me a message on Discord every time I call in, either here or to Vincent's show. And
right,
just
we generally don't do shout outs on Free Talk Live, just as a general rule. And I certainly don't want people shouting out to the one person who's been banned from the show. So it's not really fair, to bring somebody up who is not able to actually call in.
So, wasn't Dave Grady also banned from the show?
He was for a period of time. Our bans are always temporary to give people the opportunity to, behave themselves in the future.
Good. That's nice.
So yeah, I'd love to hear from Dave again. Sorry about that, Evang Liberty. Were you calling for an actual?
Topic? Sorry about that. I will keep that in mind for next time. I just know I'm going to get a message from him, so I figured I'd say hi.
Just keep those private between you and him, because usually they involve threats and stuff by him. So anyway, go ahead.
So I owe you an apology. For the last 10 months, I have rolled my eyes every single time you have brought up Facebook. Because we're like, okay, we get it. He's off Facebook. He quit Facebook, whatever.
Yeah.
We get it. But then this past week, and I don't know if y'all have covered this or not, but there was that big
Facebook purge.
Did you hear about it was like 800 pages.
Yeah. We covered that in detail on Friday night. Spent a good chunk of the show, probably most of it.
Yeah, you got interviewed by RT over it.
That's true. I did.
Figure since you're talking about like free speech stuff, like that to me is just, Cop Block, all those pages that I followed are gone.
Yep.
And been saying it. You've been saying it, and I haven't been listening. So, I apologize for that.
Well, you don't have to apologize for having an opinion and then changing it. I mean, there's nothing inherently wrong with using Facebook. It's just I've been a critic of it since before I quit it. I had been trying to whittle myself down off of it for a period of a couple of years.
You mean wean yourself off of it?
I think whittle down is fine.
Well, whittle is what you do to a block of wood.
Yeah,
wean is when you slowly remove
better.
your
You're probably right.
dependence on
Wean's probably a better word.
I'm sorry, it's the copy editor in me.
But I have been weaning myself down off of it, and had ended up stopping using the notifications, which were a huge addiction for me on Facebook. I cut out their app years ago. I uninstalled that from my phone a long time ago. And so it's sort of like this process of disconnecting from it. In January of this year, I stopped using it. I still had my account, but I stopped using it. And then in August of this year, I finally went in and deactivated the account. So now I have not, even if there's something that needs to get done on Facebook, like there's a Free Talk Live amplifier group on there still, and every now and then we'll get a new amplifier that would like to be added to that group, I will just have somebody else take care of it. I used to kind of just take care of that, so I'd log in every once in a while to do that task, and I'd log right out, and I wouldn't do anything else. But it was an addiction for me, and it was a huge time sink. But, people should be able to spend their time on the things they want to spend their time on. I mean, it could be entertaining at times to be on Facebook, so I don't blame people for using it. You certainly don't owe me an apology.
For me, it's one of those things where I kind of have to do it for my job.
Oh.
I run social media accounts for small businesses in the area. That's part of what I do.
Yeah.
If I didn't have that, I would quit it myself, honestly.
So you're in there administering other people's pages on their behalf as part of your job. Is that right?
That is correct.
Gotcha. Cool.
If I didn't have to do that, I've been wanting to get away from it for a while myself, honestly.
Well, here's the trick, right? So, like when you go in for the job, do you find yourself getting distracted, or are you able to go in, get the job done, and then log out? Or are you like noticing your feed and then interacting with things on it, or checking some groups that aren't, doesn't really have to do with your job? Do you get distracted?
So I get distracted by like a car driving past the house, but No, it's both and. Like I go on, I get the job done, and next thing you know, I've wasted an hour just scrolling.
You know, let me tell you this. After the Facebook purge last week, I personally I started the process of getting myself off of Facebook. I deleted a bunch of my Facebook pages. I left a whole bunch of groups. I started unfollowing some pages, and we'll see how it goes. Probably in the next few weeks or a month or two, I probably will be gone from Facebook.
Excellent.
I also posted on there that I probably would not be posting much anymore, and to go find me on Minds or MeWe or Liberdon.
Right, that's what I did. Was I put up a notice earlier this year on my page that said, "Here's where I went. If you want to still like follow me." For a while, my posts from Twitter were syndicating to Facebook, and eventually, Facebook they like to change how their system works, so they'll break linkage that like outside websites that are trying to help you use Facebook more efficiently, or disconnect from it to some extent. They'll just break. So like the Twitter linkage was completely broken.
Yeah, I had that problem with Pork 411. Yeah. They Facebook used to have an embedded MP3 player when I would syndicate when someone called into Pork 411,
which is a voicemail system for activists.
I'd send the MP3 to Facebook. It would post on the page, and it'd have an embedded MP3 player. And they got rid of the MP3 player. And in July,
so now you can still link to an MP3.
I can still link to an MP3, but they have to go click through to get it. In July, they removed the ability for Pork 411 to post at all.
Yeah, same thing with Twitter, and it was just like at that point, I'm like, I'm not going to spend whatever time it takes to figure out how to make this work again. It's just not worth my while. So at that point, I just figured, all right, we'll just have my notice up there, and that'll be the last thing that's ever there. Hey, thanks for your story, Advantage Liberty. I appreciate hearing from you tonight. There's more coming up. We got hour number 2 next. It's Free Talk Live.
Folks, this is very important information. What's to be said about CBD? AncientLifeOil.com. Our CBD is made from hemp and has 0.003 THC, which means this wonderful product won't get you high, no matter what amount you take. What does CBD do for the body? My hands are tied, but you can Google CBD benefits and be astounded. When you're finished reading, you'll want to log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. and purchase. Life is good when you feel good. People are tired of pain. People are asking for non-GMO organic products to help them with you fill in the blank. Legal in 49 states, and again, our CBD is made from hemp. Ancient Life Oil is about helping people one by one by one. If you wonder how good the product is, the CEO takes it every day without miss. AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Have a great day.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, October 16th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.84 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,232 per ounce. Zen is trading at $13, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,552. Antiwar.com reports multiple sources are quoted by CNN as saying that the Saudi Arabian government is preparing a report that will admit that journalist Jamal Khashoggi was, as long suspected, killed inside the Saudi consulate in Istanbul earlier this month. Exact details of what the Saudis are willing to admit are not yet finalized, but they will abandon the previous claim that Khashoggi's visit was uneventful and that he left safely. Instead, they will say he was captured and interrogated within the consulate and that the interrogation went wrong and he died in the process. Exactly what sort of enhanced interrogation techniques were involved in killing the journalist are uncertain, but officials say that the report will conclude that the killing was done without prior clearance as a way of shifting responsibility for the death away from Saudi leadership and towards the interrogators. Either way, this seems to still be a problem for the Saudi kingdom, as they still killed a journalist during what was supposed to be a routine visit to a consulate, and on top of that, spent weeks lying about it. This is likely to be a big focus for Secretary of State Mike Pompeo's newly announced visit to Saudi Arabia. President Trump has downplayed the entire affair and suggested days ago that rogue killers were to blame. Even if the Saudis admit to killing the journalist, Trump has rejected the notion of any action that would threaten massive U.S. arms sales to the Saudis, saying that the U.S. would be punishing itself by losing the sales. Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They're working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform and generate income from them. This will allow Horizon to bring thousands of real-life services to the community, services that provide freedom, utility, and privacy. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community. HORIZEN.global. UPI reports a federal judge dismissed a defamation lawsuit by Stormy Daniels against President Donald Trump. On Monday, U.S. District Judge S. James Otero ruled the tweet at the center of Daniels' lawsuit was rhetorical hyperbole, which is protected by the First Amendment rather than defamation. Otero also ordered Daniels to pay Trump's legal fees for the suit. Otero ruled if this court were to prevent Mr. Trump from engaging in this type of rhetorical hyperbole against the political adversary, it would significantly hamper the office of the president. Michael Avenatti, a lawyer for Stormy Daniels, tweeted that he had filed an appeal against the ruling with the Ninth Circuit Court. She and Avenatti also filed a lawsuit against Trump and his former personal attorney, Michael Cohen, over the $130,000 payment made to prevent her from speaking publicly about her alleged affair with Trump. Avenatti said Daniels' other claims against Trump and Cohen would proceed unaffected by Monday's ruling. In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake Security Company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. But at what cost? And can anyone stop him? Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports the U.S. Supreme Court on Monday rejected appeals by 3 paint manufacturers challenging a California court ruling that held them liable for millions of dollars in damages related to the use of lead paint decades ago. The justices left in place the lower court's 2017 ruling that endorsed a trial judge's finding that the companies had created a public nuisance by concealing dangers posed by lead paint, which can cause brain damage if ingested. The appeals were brought by Sherwin-Williams, ConAgra, and NL Industries. Lead paint was banned by the U.S. government in 1978 for use in homes, but remains a top cause of lead poisoning, especially for children. The California Appeals Court said the companies were liable for the cost of lead abatement in homes built before 1951. The long-running litigation, dating back to the year 2000, stems from a complaint filed against the companies by 10 local jurisdictions in California, including Los Angeles County and the city of San Francisco. Santa Clara County Superior Judge James Kleinberg in 2014 ordered the companies to pay $1.15 billion into a fund used to locate lead paint in homes in 7 counties and 3 cities, and then to remove it from those residences. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
The producers of Sesame Street have responded to the controversy over the recent New Yorker cover that showed Bert and Ernie as a gay couple celebrating the repeal of DOMA. Sesame Workshop released a statement today saying, quote, "We have never viewed Bert and Ernie as a gay couple, but as 2 friends who will do absolutely anything to get their rocks off. These pansexual perverts cannot be categorized in your narrow gay, straight, or bisexual paradigm. They're into some pretty sick shit. inaccurate. On their website, PBS released a long list of the duo's strange sexual fetishes, which range from shoving ice into their anuses so that they can cold water into women's mouths, to castrating stray dogs and then masturbating onto the animals' bleeding wounds. Although they're flattered that fans have turned the characters into gay icons, the producers explained that calling them gay would be inaccurate. Quote, they will literally f*** anything that moves. The producers also added that Oscar the Grouch is neither male nor female, and that its trash can is designed to hide a lower body that is just a Lovecraftian monstrosity of hundreds of interlocking penises and vaginas.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. We're launching into the second hour of the program. Open phones as always. Actually, busy night on the phones for a Tuesday night. So always appreciate the participation. Folks who got something to say. And, of course, we've got a platform for it, not just on the radio, because we are on both AM and FM radio stations across the United States, but also on free-to-air satellite, also on streaming online. We're on Twitch at twitch.lrn.fm. We've got a Discord chat. There's actually a feed in the Discord chat server. There's so many different ways to listen. You can listen on your phone. There's a lot of different options. You can get Free Talk Live into your ears. Go to freetalklive.com, and you can find us there. Also, we'll take your calls about anything. Toll-free number 855-450-FREE. Or you can get on our Discord servers, on-air call-in line rooms, which are open at the moment. We've actually had several calls, I think, on Discord so far in the first hour. We're going to the normal phones, though, right now, where we've got Chris on the line in Vancouver, Canada. Chris, you're on Free Talk Live with Ian, Michael, and Vincent.
Hello, Ian.
Hey,
hello,
Chris.
older Will Forte. Hello, guy who looks like he just pulled up in his Trans Am. How you guys doing today?
Wait, so who's Will Forte? I don't know what that reference is. I'm not sure which one of you looks like you pulled up in the Trans Am. I'm guessing because of the jean jacket.
The denim jacket.
That's you.
I wish I had
Vincent.
a Trans Am, man. It's awesome.
I bet
car.
you do, yeah.
So who's Will Forte?
He's an actor from the television, but you know what? Enough of these
I guess that's you,
pleasantries.
Michael.
I'm peed off here. You guys aren't got your damn shirts on. It's Topless Tuesday. What the heck? What is? I tell
It's
my friends
cold,
about the program.
man. I think I
I tell my
experiment.
friends about the program. I say this is the only shirtless radio show you're ever going to watch, and I got them all tuning in now. And you made a damn fool of me. You made a fool of me.
Ian, it's cold for Flatlanders, though.
Thanks for the call. He hung up there, but it was good. That was actually a decent one. I like that one. Because we've had some really bad crank calls.
I've had some pretty bad crank calls
from some of the Twitch listeners, but you know what? That wasn't too bad. All right, so you can bring up anything you want here, and so his purported topic. See, his purported topic was going to be legalization, and we are going to talk about that coming up in Canada. You guys both have been researching this. What are the rules going to be? They're actually going to be different in different provinces, from what I understand. So we'll talk a little bit about that coming up here. Cannabis going to be legalized tomorrow, apparently, in Canada, across all of Canada, although there's some variants, and we'll get into that. Let's continue, though, with your calls and thoughts. We've got Ron in New York. You're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead, Ron.
Hi, can you hear me?
We got you, Ron.
Okay. So did you see the New Mexico Senate debate with Gary Johnson and Martin Heinrich and Mick the Republican?
Why in God's name would I have seen that?
Because, well, apparently I was watching it on C-SPAN the other day, and I think Gary Johnson won that debate. I mean, because I was shocked, because I thought Gary Johnson was like the worst debater ever, because if you watched him during any of the libertarian debates, I didn't think he did well. And then if you watch, because he actually ran as a Republican originally in 2012, and if you watch the one debate where he was at or the one Republican debate he attended in 2012, he did horrible. But surprisingly, his debate performance, I would go as far as to say it was on par with Ron Paul's first debate performance in 2008.
Wow, okay. Wow. So wait, was he actually talking libertarian principles, or?
Oh yeah, he was totally talking libertarian. Yeah.
No kidding. I'm surprised they let him into the debates. I know they're trying to keep the libertarian contender out here in New Hampshire for governor, so that's unfortunate. But I imagine this is a difficulty that a lot of third parties will come up against, is getting the same exposure that the major two parties. Have you? So you're in New York. I mean, why are you paying attention? You're just kind of curious. You just wanted to see how he would do.
I'm a big political junkie.
Sounds
I'm
like
a big political junkie, so I follow all the races across the country.
So you say he was on C-SPAN. Did he eventually take off his clothes and streak on the stage? As some
I think it was actually from a local station, but C-SPAN re-aired it. It was probably a local station in New Mexico, but they re-aired it on C-SPAN so that more people could see it.
I asked because, some libertarian politicians have been known to do that on the C-SPAN.
You're talking about the convention, that was that a year ago? What, 2016, I think was that year. A guy named James Weeks actually stripped down to basically a thong on the stage there, and it was amazing. It was so hilarious, and it really got a lot of people upset because, it's so easy to get these stodgy old libertarians all mad because you don't have a suit on. Oh no, he took his clothes off.
Well, yeah, I mean,
you're ruining the movement.
If you're I'm going to say I don't have an issue with people taking off their clothes in general, but I mean,
you just flashed the cameras 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, but Ian, I'm not at a formal event, Ian. I'm not here to talk politics and talk policy and X, Y, and Z. Well, I guess I am, but it's not an official. It's not an official thing, dude.
Well, no, I mean the guy who did strip down wasn't at a debate. He was just on stage speaking at the Libertarian Convention.
I'm saying for some things that are proper, right?
Sure. It would be completely improper for Gary Johnson to strip down, but it would be pretty funny.
Oh, absolutely.
Thanks, Ron, for the call tonight. I appreciate it. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, because frequently things that are funny are also completely improper. So we continue with your calls and thoughts. Jack is calling us from London, listening to LRN.FM. Go ahead, Jack.
Hi. I just... I wanted to bring up the blockchain to you guys. I'm a big fan of the blockchain.
Are you now?
Which London?
But, London, England.
Okay.
What's the weather like over there?
It's cold and rainy as usual.
You don't have the accent
you pass.
For it, but so what about the blockchain? Because you're talking about a technology that came out with Bitcoin back in 2009 and has been, pretty revolutionary to finance. It's essentially a public ledger, distributed and decentralized. That means that it's impossible to hack and take down and cook the books.
Yeah. So The thing with it that I'm not a fan of is the thing that's currently blocking your chain and possibly your nipples too. I'm talking about the shirts.
Now he's starting to sound a little more.
It sounds Australian a bit.
Is that Australia?
To me, it sounded. I know. I didn't hear him speak long enough.
I can speak a bit more if you want.
Yeah, we're still trying to figure you out.
Yeah, we're trying to place your accent.
It's English.
Okay. I mean, you're not going to see much nipples from me because, as you could see, the Free Talk Live banner is right strategically right there. You got to pay up so the banner goes away.
So what is this obsession with, male nipples? You can get them on the internet all over the place, right? Like you could obviously spend as much time as you want looking at pornography or nude photos. Is it the success of being able to get someone to take their shirt off? Is that what it is you're after? Like the victory? The conquest.
Well,
I guess that's the right word.
The thing for me is there's plenty of male nipples on the internet, but very few of them are libertarian.
Ooh, good point. Touche, Jack. Thank you for the call tonight. I appreciate it. These guys are on their game tonight. They've had multiple different callers because usually we get like one crank caller. It sounds like the same kid who calls in 3 times.
We have a caller ID spoofer
and changes his name. But yeah, these haven't been bad. Let's continue. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Although I think there was at one time, didn't the Ladies of Liberty, there used to be an organization called LOLA, Ladies of Liberty Alliance.
Yes.
I think they actually did come out with like a hunky libertarian guy's calendar once upon a time. So I don't know if there's any copies. I know there are copies. I think they had like 1,000 they never sold. So there's probably a bunch of those things floating around out there. People like Pete Eyre from Cop Block and others.
Maybe Derek J has some.
I don't think Derek was in that. But let's go to, and by the way, he's not the kind of guy who's going to be flaunting his nipples around generally, although there are some exceptions.
No, I'm just saying he owns one of the calendars.
There was a time when he did walk into the airport in Manchester where he was just basically wearing a Speedo. So there was that one time, but usually if you see Derek J, he's wearing a full-on suit. Yeah. And he
very snazzy.
Looks very, very sharp, very snazzy. So we got more coming up here if you want to join us. Also, since somebody brought up Facebook, I had something in show prep from a couple days ago about that. Facebook says hackers saw the personal information of 14 million people. And we're not just talking about seeing your profile pic here. They're saying the data that was exposed included relationship status, birth date, hometown, education, and their 15 most recent searches. So we'll share more with you on that.
Oh, lovely.
And you can take control of the airwaves here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Plus the cannabis news out of Canada, that's still on deck as well. You can take control, bring up what you want. This is Free Talk Live.
This November, I'm running the New York City Marathon as a member of Team Innocence Project because I'm a passionate supporter of their work. 2018 has been a banner year for the Innocence Project. Since January, 9 of their clients have walked free. Innocent people who combined to serve more than 200 years in prison for crimes they did not commit. And because of the Innocence Project, the risk of being wrongfully convicted has been greatly reduced for millions of people. October 2nd is International Wrongful Conviction Day. It's an opportunity to draw attention to the countless innocent men and women who remain behind bars and the need to reform our broken criminal justice system to prevent wrongful convictions. At any given time, the Innocence Project represents 200 clients who need their help to prove their innocence. This year, the Innocence Project helped pass a first-in-the-nation prosecutorial oversight law in New York and eyewitness identification reforms in New Hampshire and Louisiana. You can help the Innocence Project by going to run.freetalklive.com. That's run.freetalklive.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
The Liberty Dollar was so successful that the United States government had to take it down, and its founder, Bernard von Nothaus. Now Bernard's son Extra has launched Liberty Dollar 2. LD2 is a cryptocurrency, but each token is backed by the same gorgeous fine silver rounds that Liberty Dollar has always been known for. Your silver is secured in an audited vault and can be redeemed at any time. There's only a few thousand LD2 Zero tokens left in the crowd sale at ld2coin.io. Get yours, ld2coin.io.
Hey guys, Mark Claire here, lionsofliberty.com, where we strive to advance the ideas of liberty daily. We bring you the Morning Roar. That's right, every Monday to Friday we'll have a brand new edition of the Morning Roar, where we provide a roundup of some news stories that you may not find in the mainstream media or even in your typical social media newsfeed. We find stories that relate to the ideas of liberty and provide you with our liberty perspective on them. Every Monday, we have our longest-running feature, Mondays with Murray, named after the great libertarian Murray Rothbard, where we'll examine an article or an excerpt from his works and help convey his view, along with our little spin as well. We wrap it all up every Friday with Felony Friday, where our own John Odermatt goes out and takes a look at some sort of felony. There's felonies committed every day, you know, whether it's a felony committed by the police, a politician, or even an average citizen. You can find all of this and so much more over at lionsofliberty.com. Advancing the ideas of liberty daily.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Free speech is protected on the internet, right? Not always. Government agencies try to limit free speech and commerce on the net. Luckily, when they do, the Institute for Justice is there to defend your First Amendment right to free speech. IJ helped set the first federal precedent for internet free speech in 1999, and ever since has worked to prevent unconstitutional roadblocks in cyberspace. Visit our website today at ij.org.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You may dial toll-free and join us here on the radio. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Like freedom, 855-450-3733. Here tonight, you've got Ian,
Michael,
and Vincent.
And don't forget about AnyPay.global. That is where you can go to get started accepting cryptocurrency at your point of sale. If you've got, let's say, a cash register in a real-life business, AnyPay can help you. You can also use AnyPay, by the way, for, I mean, we focus on how it's a real-life acceptance thing, but you could use it for internet billing. So if somebody owes you some money, they want to pay with crypto, you can generate an invoice with AnyPay.global's point-of-sale system and then just send the invoice link to the customer, and then they can pay it. So it is possible to do other things besides real-life acceptance with AnyPay, but that was what they had in mind when they were designing the system. And it works great for that, too. Go to AnyPay.global and get started there. You just create your username and password, and you get in. You put your crypto addresses that you want the crypto delivered to, your personal wallet addresses. You put them in the setup page, and then you load the app on your point-of-sale device. That's it. And we're talking about literally just minutes of time that you will need to get set up to accept things like Dash or Bitcoin, BTC, Zcash, and others. AnyPay.global. As we go to your calls, your thoughts. Greg is in New York. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Greg.
Yes, I am. So, I thought I'd ask about, finally delve into this Republican versus Democrat thing. I'm just curious. The latest circus, I think, is about Elizabeth Warren.
This is a Democrat, fairly well-known Democrat. Wasn't she like the head of the Democratic National Committee or something, or was that somebody else?
I'm not sure about that. I just know she's the...
No, that's Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Oh, okay. Who is Warren? She's just like a state or
senator
a US
from
rep?
Massachusetts.
Okay.
Yeah, so Bernie Sanders is a progressive. I think she's a progressive. Both people have, done things, fairly significant things. Like, for example, Bernie Sanders audited the Fed. Bernie Sanders sometimes teams up with Rand Paul.
No, but okay, hold on a minute. Ron Paul himself said that Bernie Sanders put a poison pill in the, I think it was a 2012 audit the Fed bill.
Really?
Yeah. He said at least he was backstabbed or something. I remember the video.
Well, I don't know about that. My point simply is that these people have way more going for them than simply that they claimed Native American ancestry or perpetuated a story that their family said. Like, that is so insignificant, and yet that is the only thing that most Republicans know about Elizabeth Warren, is that she claimed something somewhere 40 years ago. And I think
so.
That's
hold
really
on.
sad
So is this? I think I've heard about this story. Yeah. This is the woman who has claimed to be part Native American, but some kind of test showed that she was like less than 1,000th% or something.
She had she had a DNA test done, and it showed she was less than 0.1%. And then the Cherokee Nation
1,000th% or 100th%,
100th%, something like that.
Yeah.
And then the Cherokee Nation even come out and issued a statement denouncing her. And
and just the extent of how much of a liar she is. She had a cookbook that she said she got Native American family recipes. She stole it from somewhere else.
Really?
She talked about how her father's parents disapproved of their marriage between her mother and father because they were racist against her mother for being Native American. And it's just such lies.
No, but this is what I mean. All that is fun one way, and then you take the exact same story. For example, Donald Trump's dad claimed that he was of Swedish ancestry because, after World War II, it's not popular to be a German renting apartments. So, okay, he claims he's Swedish ancestry, and he sells to Jews in Brooklyn and everything like that. Now, when that's brought up, well, that's fine. Donald Trump writes it in Art of the Deal that he has Swedish ancestry, and nobody cares. And he doesn't have any Swedish ancestry. And then,
well, the difference between that and Warren is that Trump Senior, I think, or Donald Trump's father did that to avoid. I mean, I'm just saying what I think it is. I haven't read this. Did that to avoid the anti-German sentiment, while Elizabeth Warren did that to advance her career and academic life.
Well, I would say Fred Trump would also advance his career by selling apartments. He's a salesman.
Now, is this Warren? Didn't she do it to pander, like to make people feel like she was somehow part of this oppressed class?
Well, she not to pander to advance her career because it's something interesting, right? It gives them sympathy points.
She didn't get any benefits, like getting into a college from that. She simply affirmed what her parents were saying, and that was the truth for her, and that's what she said. Just like Donald Trump was affirming what his parents were saying, and that was the truth for him for a while. He finally distanced himself from it.
Well, I mean, you're
But it's
acting
not
like Donald Trump doesn't take any heat for the things that he says. I mean, he's taken heat for all kinds of things, and rightfully so. So, I mean, if this woman, now again, I don't know what the original statement was, where she made this statement. Was it you know?
She
within
said
the
it all
last
her
couple of
life,
years?
dude.
Oh, it was all of her
Yes.
life. Okay.
Yes, she said it all her life because her parents used to tell her that.
Mhm.
That's the whole story. That's it.
And it turns out
Everything
she
else
was
is
wrong.
just-
It turns out that really
Yeah.
wasn't true.
yeah,
basically.
that's it. That's really a bullshit story.
Oh,
on
I'm
both sides.
sorry.
I
You
don't care
cannot
if
say
Donald
that on the radio. Got to let you go there. Can't say that. Toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. I understand you feel strongly about it, but
These
there's
rabid
some-
leftist SJWs are out of control, Ian.
certain words you just can't say on the radio, and BS is one of them. We won't fine you, though, because I believe we got that before it hit the radio waves. Anyway, you can take control of the airwaves here. Bring up what you want. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE.
Well, Ian, people could say BS on the radio. They just can't say the word.
Correct. They can't say the full-on what that stands for.
No, I mean, like, spread lie. Oh, a joke fell flat.
All right, so you can bring up whatever you want here on Free Talk Live. We were going to get into the story about Canada, which tomorrow is apparently going to be legalizing cannabis, and I think
legalizing cannabis.
You're putting
Sort
air
of.
quotes. You're putting air quotes around that. Do you want to tell us why you're putting air quotes
Well,
around that?
this is Mike's story, but I mean, the reason why I said it, and I brought this up before on Free Talk Live, like as
Right.
far as back as last year, because
we've talked about it before.
It's not legalizing it; it's just giving the government a monopoly to sell it.
Oh,
That's pretty much it. The only way to legally buy cannabis in Canada is through the provincial government.
Right. And each provincial government, what we learned over the summer when we talked about this in more detail, each provincial government has its own set of rules. So in some of them, you'll have to be 18 to buy the cannabis. And I believe one or two, it's like 19.
As far as I know, it's 19 nationwide.
In Quebec, it's 18. I think it's for last I checked. They might have changed it.
It could be. I could be wrong. It could be just
I thought it was in Ontario. It was
19
19
in Ontario, but
and maybe the Maritimes, it's older. I saw, or maybe it's 19 also.
All right, we'll have to pull up the list because I know the last time I looked at it, I believe it actually ranged in some places even higher than 19, if I recall correctly. I could be wrong.
Okay,
about
here we go. In Quebec, anyone 18 or older will be able to buy it. They're going to increase the minimum age to 21, though.
Jesus.
Alberta has gone with 18, but every other province has gone with 19.
Interesting.
Oh no, these kids under 21. How could they get their cannabis now?
We got more to say about this, and you guys have both been doing some research on the topic. Vincent, you're originally from Quebec province, so if you want to weigh in here on cannabis legalization, you're welcome to join us. Our toll-free number, 855-450-FREE, or you can take control of the airwaves. You can bring up anything that you want. 855-450-3733, or jump in to our Discord on-air call-in line rooms. They are open to you now. Just go to discord.lrn.fm. You'll find the rooms there right at the top of our list of various different chat rooms where you can interact with other Free Talk Live listeners and such. It's Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Do the letters IRS give you anxiety? I'm Dan Pilla. I've defended people from the IRS for more than 40 years. My book, How to Get Tax Amnesty, created the tax resolution industry and is responsible for helping hundreds of thousands of people. It can help you too. If you're a non-filer or facing IRS enforcement right now, your case is unique. You need real help, not cookie-cutter advice. My clients get my personal attention. Buy my book at danpilla.com and get a free consultation directly with me. That's danpilla.com. Let's start solving your tax problem right now.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it
And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial in toll free and bring up whatever you want. Our number here, 855-450-FREE. Like freedom, 855-450-3733. Free Talk Live brought to you by Bitcoin.com. And Bitcoin.com wants you to know about Save It Purse. You want to save big time on your purchases at Amazon? You can now use Bitcoin Cash to do it. For a long time, SaveItPurse.com's accepted Bitcoin BTC, but recently they added Bitcoin Cash as one of your main deposit currencies there at SaveItPurse.com. How it works? Well, you got Bitcoin Cash, you deposit it into Save It Purse, and then you go shopping on Amazon, you load up your wish list with the stuff that you want to buy. You import that wish list into SaveItPurse.com, and then you decide the discount you want. You want to get 20% off? No problem. I mean, I usually don't ever go lower than 20% on SaveItPurse.com. Usually if I put something at 20%, it gets snatched up within the next few hours, at most like a day. And it's rare that it takes a day at 20%. You get to set your rate. So if you want to go up as high as 30, 33%, you can do that. It gets a little harder to get somebody to take it at that price, because essentially what's happening is the person on the other end is buying your cryptocurrency, your Bitcoin or your Bitcoin Cash, at 20% above the normal cost of that thing, because they want it real bad for whatever reason. And they send you the thing you want from Amazon. You just mark when you receive it that you got the thing that you wanted, and then the Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash gets released from the escrow to the person who bought the item for you. It's really slick, and it works very well. I use it every time I need something from Amazon, because why would you want to pay full price if you can save 20% or more?
or less. It's up to you. Bitcoin.com wants you to know about this. It's saveatpurse.com. Saveatpurse.com. All right, we continue here. Of course, you can bring up what you want. Michael, you actually brought this story to the table, and I'm glad we actually have Vincent here because he's actually originally from Canada, where Canada is leading the way in North America as far as legalization of cannabis is concerned.
I'd say the states, not to interrupt, I'd say the states like Colorado are doing better.
Well, yes. I mean, that's true.
Because here, like in Colorado, I believe you could buy like concentrates and buy edibles here. And you have like packaging, right? Like you have Snoop Dogg brand weed or whatever.
Of course you do.
Up there in Quebec, at least the way I understand it, we're only selling flower, right? We're going to talk and deliberate about edibles and the other stuff in the future, but in 2019. But also you have to buy it in like a silver sort of. It's like a medicine, right? It looks like a prescription.
It's going to be a boring bag from the government, right?
They don't want the children to see all these, cute cartoon characters,
right? And government, isn't known for its marketing abilities, and they're not going to need to market it. It's going to be a product that sells itself, so it really ultimately won't matter whether or not it's in a fancy bag or a nondescript, brown or silver bag. But you do make a good point. They are not leading the way as far as their structure, the legalization system is concerned. I guess my comment is they were leading the way as far as national legalization because the United States has not seen any kind of even decriminalization, excepting Washington, D.C., where actually it got legalized, interestingly.
Well, it's because all the politicians want to do it there.
Well, whoever it is.
All the lobbyists and bad people.
Yeah, well, they were doing it anyway. It's just they want to do it legally, right?
Out in the open, yeah.
Well, I don't know if it's legal out in the open. I don't know if it's smoke, because in a lot of these places, like in Colorado, you can't legally smoke it outdoors. How many people violate that ordinance? I'm not sure, but there's not really a truly free place for using and possessing cannabis. They all have a bunch of rules applying to them. We saw a story, and we didn't get into the details on it, but in Colorado, there were multiple raids against unlicensed grows. So they're still targeting people who are operating in the black market, people who don't want to go and jump through the hoops and get the government licenses and all that. So Canada is ahead of, I think, the United States and Mexico as far as a national level decriminalization or legalization. But I agree with you, Vincent. It's going to be a laughable legalization because
it's Soviet centrally planned.
Yeah, right. It's centrally planned legalization. And so the government, while they're not going to grow the weed themselves, they have specific contractors for whom they will be doing, the government grows. And so there's no competition amongst the growers, which means that the weed is likely going to be some of the weakest, most pathetic kind of weed available out there on the market. At least that was some of the claims originally back when Canada went through medical cannabis. Was the medical patients were like, this weed sucks. This is ditch weed, was some of the comments that we'd seen. So, Michael, did you want to share more from your story?
The irony here is that I brought the story up, but I don't even smoke cannabis.
Right.
So
right.
That's what they all say.
No, I really haven't. I quit in 1995 and haven't touched the stuff since.
So you have used it.
I have used it in the past.
Okay.
You do know it has gotten better. I mean, if you want to, so I've heard.
That's probably not the reason.
Trust me, I got hold of some pretty good stuff.
Yeah, they still had good weed back in the 1990s. Just might have been a little harder to come across. So, where was the story? You had something that you were sharing, right, Michael?
There was one story that really struck me that I thought we should talk about a little bit.
Sure.
Nearly 8 in 10 Canadians are uninterested in smoking cannabis once it's legalized.
Huh.
A survey conducted for CTV News, this comes from CTV News in Canada, found that 71% of those polled were not interested in smoking marijuana once it's legal in Canada.
71% isn't quite 8 out of 10, but it's still a lot.
Another 8% said they were somewhat not interested, whatever that means. And 11% said they were somewhat interested.
All right.
8% said they were interested in smoking marijuana upon
Only
legalization.
8%.
And 2% were unsure.
Only 8%.
But isn't this thing this addictive monstrous weed that gets people to just 1 second you're smoking a joint and next you're shooting up heroin?
I don't buy it. I don't buy it that there's only 8% in Canada. Do you think there's still like some kind of negative connotation surrounding the use of cannabis, and people don't want to admit to it?
The story even says this. Pollster Nick Nanos, I don't know if I got his name right, but someone will correct me if I didn't, says the results of the survey reflect the current smoking culture in Canada. He told CTV News, governments have spent decades demonizing smoking, and even though they've legalized something and allowed for smoking marijuana, I don't think that means there's going to be a new renaissance in how people feel about smoking in general. The question becomes, will this mentality change with time? The answer, Nanos believes, is something that will be revealed in the coming months and years. He said, I consider this a benchmark of the old Canada, with a new Canada starting this week, one that has the consumption of marijuana.
Well, has the legal consumption of marijuana. I can tell you when I was in Toronto, and this was 11 years ago, it was like 2007, I think, when I took a trip to Toronto to go to a rave with my ex-girlfriend, or girlfriend at the time. And we were walking down the streets of Toronto. We smelled marijuana being smoked in the streets.
Oh, same deal. Every time I go to Montreal, you smell dope in the streets.
Well, dope.
I believe it. I believe it.
Dope is like a 70s term that parents would use.
I got it from Trailer Park Boys. My dad and Trailer Park Boys. That's why I use it.
I do love that show, Trailer Park Boys. For those who have not seen it, if you like a good comedy series, this has to be one of the funniest shows I've seen. It is really well done.
Takes place in Canada.
It takes place in Canada, and they're very Canadian, and
they grow a lot of weed.
They do all kinds of crimes, like not just weed growing.
Victimless crimes.
They do victim crimes. They steal all kinds of crap. They're totally criminal. But it's really entertaining. I highly recommend that. I don't buy it. I don't buy that only 8% of Canada is interested in smoking cannabis, and I don't know if they would have asked the question differently if it would have resulted like, do you intend to consume cannabis, right? Because some people would like to eat the cannabis. They would like to maybe vaporize the cannabis.
I think it might be sort of like what they call the Trump effect or something, where like when, the 2016 election, when people polled through calls, people were inclined to lie about their support for Trump, even though it was like a private phone call.
Right.
I think in this case, it's even more amplified because at the time they got the phone call, it was still illegal.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I think there's something to that.
I saw a headline that said something about Canadians not wanting to admit to cannabis use, but I can't find it again right now.
All right, we got more coming up, though. I know, Vincent, you've been looking into this legalization. We're going to maybe compare some of the different areas and how they're different. We already found out that the ages are going to be restricted in different provinces. So 18, 19, possibly even 21 years old. Apparently, Quebec's starting at 18, but then they're going to possibly raise it to 21. They're already talking about that. More coming up here in moments. You can take control of the airwaves. This is Free Talk Live.
Do you operate a retail business and are looking for a solution for point-of-sale cryptocurrency acceptance? It's never been easier thanks to AnyPay.Global. There's no paperwork or approval process to open an account. If you already have a tablet at your cash register, you're almost done. Just sign up at AnyPay.Global. Drop your personal crypto wallet addresses in our setup page, and then load our app. That's it. You're accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Dash at your store. Get started now at AnyPay.Global. That's AnyPay.Global.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original, most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Blockit Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockitPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockitPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockitPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy. 888-315-9618. BlockitPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy. 888-315-9618. BlockitPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy. 888-315-9618. BlockitPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
When you're coping with bad news and the news media come calling, and they will, don't clam up. As notorious political figures find out the hard way, the cover-up can be worse than the crime. So get out in front of unfavorable news about your company, your group, or organization, or yourself. The sooner you confront a negative story, the sooner it will be over. Responding as quickly to negative stories as you do to positive ones enhances your credibility. Hiding embarrassing information or lying will do more damage than damage control. Never stonewall. Tell your side of the story, use specifics, and detail what corrective action has already been taken. Respond in kind. If the issue is emotional, don't sound like a cold, unemotional Mr. Spock. For more tips on critical communication skills for the way things are now, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nestle Toll House Morsels, helping you create special moments and memories your family will cherish forever. Visit us at tollhouse.com. You may bake for birthdays and holidays, but why stop there? Sweeten up the rest of the year by designating monthly dessert days. Treat your family to one of their favorites or surprise them with something new. Either way, you'll create a tradition everyone will love. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll free, take control of the airwaves here. Our number 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. We also have our Discord on-air call-in line rooms. They're open and available to you. Just head over to discord.lrn.fm and jump on in one of those top 3 rooms. We'll join you there. In the studio here with you tonight, it's Ian.
And Michael.
And Vincent.
We're digging into the Canadian cannabis legalization that is imminent. I mean, we're just hours away. I don't know if they're going to have, are they going to have midnight sales where they're going to swing the doors open at midnight? You know they will.
I've heard
if they're legally allowed to. Oh, wait, no, this is the government. So no, they're not going to do that.
I've heard that there's already talk of shortages.
Oh, yeah. There was news recently about that where they were already predicting that they are not going to be able to meet the demand of the Canadian people.
So in the Soviet Union, they had bread lines for centrally planned food. Now here in Canada, we're going to have weed lines.
They literally will. Certainly on the first day, there's going to be lines out the door. We know that because Mark Emery, the Prince of Pot, who ran Cannabis Culture magazine for a long time, and I guess he still does run the company, but the magazine's long gone. They still have a website, of course. And he and his wife, Jody, opened up cannabis dispensaries before it was legalized. So like a year ago, they opened these up in, I think, Ontario province and I think Quebec, maybe elsewhere in the country, and they got arrested for this. The Canadian government came in with goons and raided all of the store locations, basically like simultaneously, and arrested them. I don't know what the current status of their case is. I was never able to actually get them on the line to interview them. I'm still not sure why that is. We used to have Mark on the show in the past, and I'd love to hear from them and be able to talk to them about this, but I can't spend all my time trying to chase down a guest if they're not going to respond to an email. So I would love to get the latest on that. But yeah, so they got targeted, and because you don't have a situation where the market is going to be providing this, you're not going to have a midnight sale tonight. The state stores are going to open at whatever time the state stores decide to open. Whereas, like, in the video game world, when there's some big video game release coming out, GameStop will open up at midnight so people can show up and be the first to get a copy of it in their hands.
Movie theaters have midnight showings on like Wednesday.
Yep, that's right. Right. I think, in fact, the Halloween movie's coming out this week, and they're doing like the evening before it technically opens shows, from what I understand. So, the market provides these cool incentives and, firsts and things that, they're trying to one-up one another, right? Like, if you're in the market and you have the ability to legally sell marijuana tomorrow, but not today, probably a good chunk of those stores are going to want to open up at midnight to take advantage of those first-timers, the people that want to get out there and actually buy marijuana for the first time legally. Not that they're buying marijuana for the first time, because all these people have already been violating the law. This is just going to make it so they aren't going to get arrested for carrying, what was it, up to 30 grams?
Yeah.
One of you guys pulled up the restrictions on this. That was about an ounce, basically.
Yeah, so for I got it here. I had it here. Here we go. So it'll be sold in 1 gram, 3.5 grams, which is an 8 and 15 gram formats with a maximum of 30 grams per visit. And to match the legal limit a person will be allowed to have on them, 150 grams is the limit per household.
So if you got roommates or husband and wife, whatever.
Or kids.
150 grams, that's a lot of weed. I think that's probably more than sufficient for the average person. 30 grams certainly is going to keep you busy for a while. You had cited earlier off the air the cost per gram was going to be over is it $5 Canadian?
It has the U.S. dollar symbol on it, but it's a Montreal Gazette, so it just says $5.25 a gram. So I'm assuming it's going to be U.S.
That'd be Canadian, I think.
Could be okay. Some other articles I've seen.
Is there a special Canadian dollar symbol? Because in
CAD.
Mexico, it's no.
That's the
dollar sign. The dollar sign is the same.
I've never seen a special.
Yeah, it's the same.
Either way, I mean, with the tax, it's probably going to whatever exchange.
So that's not the tax price? So wait, is it what was it? 5 what was it?
525.
525. Is it plus tax, or does that include the
it
tax?
doesn't say.
GST, HST, whatever they have in Quebec.
Because in Quebec, there's a provincial tax, there's federal tax, and some parts of Montreal, I think there might even be a city tax. I mean,
Ugh. That's got to be the worst. I know they have that in New York City.
Oh, sir. When I was in Quebec the last time, I visited the Emery shop and or what was left of it.
Mm-hmm.
And on
after
the way,
raid.
after the raid, and all on the way there's plenty of signs, right, from closed down shops, and it said in French, we had to close down because the mayor thinks he could tax businesses into oblivion.
I did find out what happened to Mark Emery. They pled guilty and were given probation. 2 years probation on December 2017.
Yeah, they had him up against the wall. I mean, they had all kinds of charges at him because they'd opened up multiple stores simultaneously. And it was a really ballsy move, right? Basically just saying, hey, their point was, it was a really smart and interesting point they were making. It was like, Canada's legalizing it. We're just going to do it now. Like, why should we wait for all these politicians to, screw around and figure out all these stupid rules? And here you go. Let's just sell some weed. And they just opened up the doors on dozens of shops.
Ian, it's to respect the institution of Canadian democracy, even though it's a constitutional monarchy and the Queen could override anything.
But she probably won't in this case.
No, not in this case, but in the past they have. When when the Prime Minister Stephen Harper of the Bush of Canada was about to be voted out of power in Parliament, she had the Governor General just dissolve Parliament for the day.
Wow. So in this case, they're going to make a bunch of money off of this.
Oh, yeah.
And they're not going to be, they don't want to let anybody else in. They don't want to let the marketplace handle this, even though it's going to be real quick before we find out, or when we find out, that they can't handle it. They're not going to be able to handle the demand. There are going to be shortages. And then, of course, the black market is going to continue to fill that demand. I know somebody said earlier, and I don't think it was on the air, because again, we were just kind of talking about this off the air earlier, that the Canadian government was estimating they would only be able to fill 30% of the demand in the black market. I think one of y'all cited that number.
I got it here. Montreal Gazette, the SQDC, which is going to be the state store that sells it, expects to sell approximately 50 tons of cannabis in its first year, which would replace about 30%. I'm just going to put quotes all around. 30% of the black market. The number of SQDC outlets will reach 20 within the next few months, 50 in the next year, and 100 to 150 over the next 3 years.
That presumes
it's a 3-year plan.
And that presumes they have any real idea of what the black market is like, right? Like, how would the government really know? I mean, every now and then they'll interdict some weed, right? They'll catch somebody crossing the border, or they'll bust a grow operation, or they'll catch a dealer with 100 pounds or something like that. All they can really do is make estimates based off of their evidence that they have, right?
I mean, and they're not catching all of it. They just aren't.
No way. No, not even, and the thing is, they don't know what fraction they're catching. So they know how much they're catching, but they don't know how much that is compared to how much there is being consumed. You can do a poll, but as we heard earlier, only 8% are claiming that they're actually going to smoke cannabis after it's legal, which I don't buy for a moment. But even if it was 8%, then you'd still have to poll further to ask people what their consumption habits are, because some of them are going to smoke once a week, on the weekend or something like that. Others are going to smoke monthly. Some are going to smoke
every day,
every single day, 6 times a day. So, how do you figure out exactly what the consumption is going to be? The only way to know is going to be to actually measure the demand through the marketplace when we can finally have that information. Because in the black market, all that stuff's silent. It's all quiet. It's all hush-hush. If it's anywhere, it's on a private ledger amongst thousands of dealers in any given province. And so we're going to find out real fast. I think it's going to be interesting to see how quickly they run out of stock.
Province or territory. Remember, adverse territories in Canada.
Right,
yes,
right.
There are.
How many of the provinces versus territories do you know off the top of your head?
Oof,
I think it's 10 provinces, 5 territories.
But there's 3.
Let me just...
I'm not a very good Canadian right now. I don't know.
What's the difference between a province and a territory? Is it like kind of the difference between Puerto Rico and Florida?
It's I think there's not enough people in a territory like Nunavut, which got its name because when explorers went there, they went to the indigenous people and they say, how much of this land is habitable? And the indigenous replied, none of it.
Wow.
That's a joke there, but it's a Canadian joke. No, I think it's like mainly like the provinces like Northwest Territory, Yukon, Nunavut. It's the people. It's just not very habitable. Not very many people want to go there. It's mainly a lot of Canadian Aboriginals and First Nations.
So Indians,
up there.
Basically.
First Nations, Ian. Aboriginals, Ian.
Is that no, they're not Indians, correct? Ian. Is that a politically correct term for Indian? No?
Well, no. I mean, there's nations of people who lived here before. That's why they're called First Nations. That's why in the U.S. they're called the Cherokee Nation, the Haudenosaunee or the Iroquois.
So is Indian like an insulting kind of non-PC term?
From what I understand, in Canada, it's Amérindien, or at least that's the French. In the U.S., some Native Americans, they pride themselves of Indian, but I mean, it's an inaccurate term, because you have the whole subcontinent full of Indians.
India, right. Yeah. All right, so we got more on the way here. We can talk about Canadian cannabis legalization, which I'm predicting is going to be a disaster. But, maybe it will be not quite a disaster, but it's going to be nowhere near as good as it could have been if they'd actually allowed the marketplace to handle this. We're coming up here in moments, 8:55, 450, free like freedom. This is Free Talk Live.
Times are changing. The circus of politics, healthcare's low standards and high prices, and let's not forget food quality. What to do? Arm yourself with Life Change Tea at GetTheTea.com. In a world of chemical imbalance and poor air and water quality, it's time you make a move. Log on to GetTheTea.com and stock up on organic non-GMO supplements. Don't forget the tea. Cleansing your body never felt so good. And we have a brand new tea called Takedown Tea, which helps support healthy glucose. All natural body support so you can be at your best, naturally. All you have to do is log on to GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. We're not a fad that comes and goes. We are the real deal. Join us and armor up. GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Changing America's health one tea bag at a time.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to SaveItPurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. SaveItPurse.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, October 16th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.84 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,232 per ounce. Zen is trading at $13, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,552. Antiwar.com reports multiple sources are quoted by CNN as saying that the Saudi Arabian government is preparing a report that will admit that journalist Jamal Khashoggi was, as long suspected, killed inside the Saudi consulate in Istanbul earlier this month. Exact details of what the Saudis are willing to admit are not yet finalized, but they will abandon the previous claim that Khashoggi's visit was uneventful and that he left safely. Instead, they will say he was captured and interrogated within the consulate and that the interrogation went wrong and he died in the process. Exactly what sort of enhanced interrogation techniques were involved in killing the journalist are uncertain, but officials say that the report will conclude that the killing was done without prior clearance as a way of shifting responsibility for the death away from Saudi leadership and towards the interrogators. Either way, this seems to still be a problem for the Saudi kingdom as they still killed a journalist during what was supposed to be a routine visit to a consulate, and on top of that, spent weeks lying about it. This is likely to be a big focus for Secretary of State Mike Pompeo's newly announced visit to Saudi Arabia. President Trump has downplayed the entire affair and suggested days ago that rogue killers were to blame. Even if the Saudis admit to killing the journalist, Trump has rejected the notion of any action that would threaten massive U.S. arms sales to the Saudis, saying that the U.S. would be punishing itself by losing the sales. Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They're working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform and generate income from them. This will allow Horizon to bring thousands of real-life services to the community, services that provide freedom, utility, and privacy. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community. HORIZEN.global. UPI reports a federal judge dismissed a defamation lawsuit by Stormy Daniels against President Donald Trump. On Monday, U.S. District Judge S. James Otero ruled the tweet at the center of Daniels' lawsuit was rhetorical hyperbole, which is protected by the First Amendment rather than defamation. Otero also ordered Daniels to pay Trump's legal fees for the suit. Otero ruled if this court were to prevent Mr. Trump from engaging in this type of rhetorical hyperbole against the political adversary, it would significantly hamper the office of the president. Michael Avenatti, a lawyer for Stormy Daniels, tweeted that he had filed an appeal against the ruling with the Ninth Circuit Court. She and Avenatti also filed a lawsuit against Trump and his former personal attorney, Michael Cohen, over the $130,000 payment made to prevent her from speaking publicly about her alleged affair with Trump. Avenatti said Daniels' other claims against Trump and Cohen would proceed unaffected by Monday's ruling. In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake Security Company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. But at what cost? And can anyone stop him? Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports the U.S. Supreme Court on Monday rejected appeals by 3 paint manufacturers challenging a California court ruling that held them liable for millions of dollars in damages related to the use of lead paint decades ago. The justices left in place the lower court's 2017 ruling that endorsed a trial judge's finding that the companies had created a public nuisance by concealing dangers posed by lead paint, which can cause brain damage if ingested. The appeals were brought by Sherwin-Williams, ConAgra, and NL Industries. Lead paint was banned by the U.S. government in 1978 for use in homes, but remains a top cause of lead poisoning, especially for children. The California Appeals Court said the companies were liable for the cost of lead abatement in homes built before 1951. The long-running litigation, dating back to the year 2000, stems from a complaint filed against the companies by 10 local jurisdictions in California, including Los Angeles County and the city of San Francisco. Santa Clara County Superior Judge James Kleinberg in 2014 ordered the companies to pay $1 $1.15 billion into a fund used to locate lead paint in homes in 7 counties and 3 cities, and then to remove it from those residences. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
After months of struggling to find their footing, it looks like the GOP has finally found an effective spokesman. Since Republican leaders unveiled the reanimated corpse of Ronald Reagan at a fundraising event last week, the undead former president has quickly emerged as the new face of the Republican Party. Since Reagan was brought back from the grave by GOP leaders in a top-secret $2.2 million reanimation project, poll data shows Reagan with a higher favorability rating than all other high-profile Republicans combined.
The voters know Reagan. They trust Reagan. When he moans at them, they're going to listen.
There's questions as to whether he still has capacity for thought, and he does eat people, but big picture, he's the best option they have right now.
And appeared in a series of GOP ads promoting the Republican Party's traditional values.
Congress and the president say they're trying to help fix our country's economy. Ronald Reagan and the Republican Party have the right idea for America's future.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live. Coming up, NPCs. What are they? There's a meme going around, and apparently people are offended, and we'll find out why coming up here in a few moments. Joining you in the studio tonight, by the way, it's Ian,
Michael,
and Vincent.
We have been talking about Canada, and tomorrow, the big day. Tomorrow is when Canadian stores run, sadly, by the government, are going to begin selling cannabis. Now,
not in every province, though. Some provinces are only selling it online.
Delivery only.
Delivery only.
Which, why they've decided to do that, I don't know. Maybe it's because
those delivery drivers are going to be running ragged.
No doubt about that. Question, though. You mentioned, Vincent, of course, you're from Canada originally. You mentioned the acronym for the dealer, the government agency in Quebec province, because it's different in different provinces. Do you remember what it was?
Yeah,
SQDC?
it's the Société Québécoise du Cannabis, SQDC.
Okay, so they're not having... So they've formed a whole new bureaucracy here. So they're not going to have the liquor stores doing this. They're going to open up a separate store just for cannabis, is what it sounds like? Okay. Yeah, that was going to be my question, was whether or not... Because I know, like, in a lot of states, they want the Liquor Commission to also handle regulating cannabis. But here they've created entirely new bureaucracies.
And it's basically like a copy and paste template of the liquor store, which is SAQ, Société des Alcools du Québec.
I see. And so they're going to have the exclusive legal monopoly to sell this plant. And like I said, I'm predicting the weed quality is not going to be that great. I think you're going to start to hear complaints on the first day from people like, it's not even that cheap, because they're talking about $5 per gram, $5.25 per gram. So, I mean, even at if you were to...
I think they do that just because if you're buying by the 8th, then that's cheaper, because I think around here, it's right by a college, so weed's plentiful. So I've heard that an average eighth goes for $35 for good, like 35 if it's 35 to 40, while if it's $5.25, it's going to be $18 an eighth. Obviously, if you buy in bulk for ounces, then it's going to be less. But they don't want people to buy in bulk; they just want people to have a little small amounts.
Right, and so there's not going to be. It doesn't sound like there's going to be a quantity discount. So if you were to say, buy a full ounce at, let's say, 28 grams, you're talking about almost $150. And there are some black market dealers that are likely going to be competitive with those rates. They probably already are competitive with those rates. The black market dealers can offer delivery probably faster, likely, than the government stores. I think you're going to find there's going to be a lot of initial interest. People are going to want to have the experience of going to buy cannabis. We don't know what kind of ID requirements they're going to have. Are they going to start keeping records on who all it is that's buying the cannabis? I suspect they will. This is the government that we're talking about. But I guess we're going to find out. But again, my prediction is people are going to be disappointed in the quality, and then within a matter of probably weeks, they're going to run out.
Well, you mentioned quality, like, and not brand names, strain names doesn't imply quality, or sometimes it does imply quality. Like here, they have a list of strains they're going to be selling. Like
they're going to have different strains?
Yeah, Hindu Kush, Alien Dog. That'd be funny, you have an official government, thing that says Alien Dog. Purple and sativa types include Blue Dream, Candyland, Maui Wowie, while hybrids will be Banana Split, Lemon Skunk, or Cali Mist.
I'm actually surprised that they
stupid names.
are going to offer more than one kind of cannabis. Like, I would figure government, they have no incentive to compete here, except for competing against the black market, which they have the police to go and, clean up their competition in that particular case, because you better believe they're going to continue to arrest independent dealers, continue to investigate the people who are out there providing competition in the marketplace. So I'm surprised that they are offering such a variety. We'll see how it pans out. I know, Michael, you had details on what's going to happen if you try to cross the border with cannabis. We'll get into that, but first let's go to the phones, to the fun across our border to Vermont, where Robert is on the line. Go ahead.
Oh, excuse me while I clear my throat here. I was just letting out some of that wonderful cannabis smoke that we grow over here.
Ah, yeah, it is legal over there in Vermont, so that's a nice thing to have.
Yeah, we don't plan on running out anytime soon.
Nope.
As a matter of fact, I don't. People just still don't get it. How healthy this plant really is, and the government is going to try its damnedest to stop this or get their hands in. I mean, look, they're already doing it in California already, Ian. Look at how many years that have gone by yearly, almost on a yearly basis. They've had these fires. Mendocino County burned down this year. All their
Wait, what do the fires have to do with cannabis? I'm sorry, I missed the connection.
Ian was distracting me.
I was too busy.
Well, I mean, you guys were talking about a shortage, of cannabis in Canada and stuff like that. And, the government over in the United States, well, they're figuring out ways of how they're going to be able to continue on controlling, how much cannabis is in this country. Like case in point.
Are you suggesting the California wildfires? Wait a minute. Are you suggesting the California wildfires were set by government agents to control cannabis?
Why else would they not want to? Because they've been trying to control the marijuana use and sales for years. They just can't stop it. It's
I don't know.
Well, hear me out.
I'll go. Sorry, go ahead.
Hear me out now. Okay, the United States is the leader in the marijuana cultivation.
Is it?
The Appalachian Trail is loaded with it. You can't stop it.
That's true. Yeah. You can't stop it. I mean, I agree with you. You can't stop it. I just don't know if I believe the idea that the government purposely set the California wildfires for the purpose of destroying some cannabis fields.
Well, I'm having trouble with that myself. I mean, I can certainly believe that the California wildfires are burning a lot of marijuana plants, but I'm not so sure that that was done intentionally.
There was a fire out here actually a few years ago near Keene, New Hampshire, and they ended up finding out it was actually set by a fireman. So there was like some sort of firebug, arsonist kind of fireman who wanted to make sure they had business or something like that. So he went out and apparently set a fire. I mean, there are crazy people out there like that.
I'll go up to bat for Robert. First of all, this is the government we're talking about that, that staged the Gulf of Tonkin on record, that blew up the World Trade Centers and blew up a section of a Pentagon. And here I have here. So this is from the Huffington Post. California wildfire suspect posted about QAnon. Right, so the suspect that they're accusing of allegedly starting the fire was allegedly a member of the Q cult, right?
And this is the group of
wait, what is the Q cult?
This is people who follow a guy. You see, I know this because my roommate Matt had told us about this guy. You knew about him already.
Yeah.
He's some guy.
It's a cryptic poster on 8chan that claims to.
He's not even on his own. I thought he had a Twitter or something like that.
It could be, anyways. But the point is, so immediate, once a fire started,
we got to explain what this guy is QAnon. So apparently the story is he's some sort of insider in the Trump administration. That's the story. Now, we don't know if that's true, but the claim is that this guy has the inside track on certain things and has posted things like before they've happened, knowing that they were going to happen because he had the inside track.
It's even more vague than Nostradamus. It's like
is
things,
that right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a bunch of hogwash.
I've never read it. I don't know anything about it.
So, I mean, I haven't looked into it, but I certainly think that Robert has the right idea that the government would do that, especially since they immediately found a pansy already to do it. Some crazy allegedly alt-righter. Pansy. Yeah.
You mean Patsy?
Oh, Patsy. Excuse me.
Yeah. Patsy's a guy who takes a fall.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Pardon me. Patsy. Yes.
Anyway, Robert, anything else you want to share? Go ahead, quick.
No, I think I'm all done.
Hey, thanks for the call, man. I appreciate hearing from you. I just don't know. I mean, because the government in California benefits from the marijuana fields. They get taxes off of it. So why would they want to set their tax money on fire?
Well, they burn everyone else's.
But the feds might.
They burn everyone else's.
Oh,
right?
You mean the black market?
Yes,
You're saying they're burning the black market.
All the unregulated.
I don't think
ones,
a wildfire gets to decide, whether it's going to burn down a regulated field.
Well, they don't care. They get federal aid
field.
and all sorts of stuff.
Toll-free number tonight, 855-450-FREE. Coming up, the NPC. We can talk about that, but also what happens at the border? If you're in Canada and you're trying to travel down into the United States, how is the U.S. government's Border Patrol going to handle that? You've got a story about that, so, given that cannabis is going to be legal as of tomorrow in Canada. 855-450-FREE is our toll-free number. Join us on the radio. It's Free Talk Live.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
Your property and your family are precious. Protect them with Blink. Blink motion-activated HD cameras are wire-free, set up fast, and their batteries last up to 2 years. And Blink's live feed option lets you monitor what's happening in your home anytime, anywhere. No contracts, no subscriptions, and Blink works with Alexa. You can get 3 Blink cameras for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. Blink is an Amazon company.
Bitcoin.com wants you to know about SaveItPurse.com. Since launching in 2014, over 200,000 users have saved an average of 15% for a combined $4 million using Bitcoin, or BTC. And now you can use Bitcoin Cash, BCH, to fund your account. You can save between 5 to 33% on things you're going to buy anyway when you shop using SaveItPurse.com. Add items to your cart, fund your account, select your discount, and save. SaveItPurse.com. Save ATPurse.com.
Free Talk Live.
You're privileged to drive the road. You must follow the law.
No, I don't have to.
You're going to make you're going to double park and you're going to make a left-hand turn in front of a cop?
Can I respond to you here, Barbara?
Go right ahead.
I'm not going to run a red light in front of a cop because he has a gun and is willing to hurt me, but I've run plenty of...
Wrong. He's not going to hurt you. He's going to give you a ticket.
Oh, but if I decide not to pull over, what will he do?
Well, you're not obeying the law.
Barbara, I don't obey arbitrary words written down by strangers. I obey natural law, Barbara. That means if I do something, I expect consequences will come from that. Sometimes good, sometimes bad.
You run a red light, somebody comes around and you kill him.
I would never run a red light like that. When I run a red light, I stop first, look around, make sure no one is in danger, and then I go through.
Oh, you are such a phony.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night.
Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealestate.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Dial in, toll free, take control of the airwaves and bring up anything that you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And I want to let you know about the Tom Woods podcast. A lot of libertarians encountered Tom Woods for the first time during the Ron Paul campaigns of 2008 and 2012. Tom is a New York Times best-selling author. He's written over a dozen books, including The Politically Incorrect Guide to American History. Since September of 2013, Tom's been putting out his own show, The Tom Woods Show, every single weekday, meaning there are over 1,200 episodes available so far. Guests including Ron Paul, Judge Andrew Napolitano, David Stockman, and hundreds more. And great topics like the libertarians will enjoy, including war, the Federal Reserve, net neutrality, the FDA, and Austrian economics. Go and learn more and get tuned in over at the Tom Woods Show. Just search for Tom Woods Show in your favorite podcatcher, or just go to tomwoods.com. That's tomwoods.com. As we continue here, we are going to go to the phones and the fun, but on the way, so we can talk about the NPC, controversial set of memes that has been hitting the internet recently, and then also, Michael, you'll be telling us about the Border Patrol and how they're going to be handling anybody that gets caught with cannabis coming across from Canada. First, though, let's go to Gene, the Christian anarchist. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Gene.
Hello, guys.
Hey there.
Wanted to talk. Today marks 3 years since my friend Irwin Schiff passed away in federal prison.
Wow.
And I wanted to...
Feels like it's been longer.
Yeah, I've been tweeting about it on Twitter, and I wanted to...
Who was Irwin Schiff, for our listeners who are unfamiliar?
Irwin Schiff was somebody who felt that the income tax was unconstitutional, and he studied the tax code and the law and knew the tax code better than any IRS agent. And his arguments against paying income taxes were pretty much rock solid. Now, I knew Irwin. I lived in Reno when he was in Vegas. He had an office on Sahara Avenue. I believe it was Sahara. And so I went to his seminars. I studied his books. I went to his office and I talked to him personally, and he didn't know me that well, but I knew him pretty well, because I studied everything he wrote, everything he said. So I know something about the man, and he was 100% genuine. He was not a phony baloney guy who was just out to try and make money or
No, he stood by his beliefs. I mean, he went to prison for it.
Yes, he did. He went to prison twice, actually. And the second time, they locked him up for so many years that it was a guaranteed death sentence. And, of course, his son is Peter Schiff.
He's an investment guy, like a gold bug.
Yeah, a lot of people know him. But anyway, Irwin, I feel sorry that he had to go to prison, and that was a wake-up call for me when he went to prison. Of course, I feel sorry. But it woke me up to the fact that the Goonerment Goon Squad is just that. They do not care about the law, because Irwin knew the law. Irwin could recite the law forward, backwards, upside down, and he knew exactly what the code said, and he could prove that you are not required to file and pay income taxes. However, when they took him to trial, they wouldn't let him say boo about his beliefs, anything about his mindset, about his intentions, because you have to prove intent to prove a crime. And they would not let him talk about the law. If he mentioned, so much as mentioned the Constitution in court, they haul him out of there. So he couldn't talk about anything that was his very basis for the way he reacted and for what he taught. So the jury basically went there blind and convicted him because that's what the government wanted. And they're all a bunch of government idiots, most of them, the people on the jurors.
Right, and it's not like it's a unique story. It's, it happened to Ross Ulbricht, where he couldn't present the defense that the defense wanted to present. And there's so many different stories of people who've been in federal courts, and not just federal courts, but state courts, where judges have said things like, "I won't have the Constitution in my courtroom."
Yep, and this is why I finally came to the realization that anarchy is real, because we currently live in anarchy and always have lived in anarchy, because there is no such thing as government. What we have is a gang of thugs who force their will upon other people. People say, well, if you live in anarchy, you're going to have warlords everywhere. Well, we do have warlords. They're called the federal government.
Right.
And that's exactly what they do. They will kill you. They will jail you. They will burn down your house. They will shoot your wife in the head while she's holding her baby in her arms. This has really happened.
Ruby Ridge.
They will shoot.
Yep.
Yeah, and shoot your children, which they've done. So there is nothing they won't do to stop people who get too much in their way. They're the mafia, and Irwin coined that phrase, the federal mafia.
That was one of his books.
Yep, and on Irwin's for Memorial Day, I want to let everybody know that term federal mafia really does apply.
Good call, Gene. Thanks for sharing that with us here tonight. I'm sorry to hear the bad anniversary there, commemorating that. Gene, the Christian Anarchist, they're in our Discord on-air call-in line rooms, which you can join over at discord.lrn.fm. Speaking of that federal mafia, the Goon Squad, Gene's right. They're all the Goon Squad, but some of them are the ones that are going to do the violence against you, because there's, the paper pushers. Technically, they're part of the Goon Squad, but they're not the ones actually slinging the handcuffs around and, beating people down and attacking peaceful folks like the Border Patrol does. Michael, you had a story about what's going to happen for Canadians or people from the United States who tried to go up into Canada, purchase some legal weed there, and bring it back.
That I do.
Where's the story from, by the way?
This is from globalnews.ca. Legal cannabis use could still get you banned at the border, the U.S. confirms.
Legal cannabis use. Gotcha.
Legal cannabis use,
right.
Yes. Canadians may be banned from entering the U.S. for legally using marijuana in Canada if a border officer decides that they are likely to consume it in the United States. American border officials told reporters Tuesday. Quote, if someone admits to smoking frequently in Canada, then that will play into the officer's admissibility decision about whether they think on this specific trip they are also likely to engage in smoking marijuana in the United States as well.
My God, we can't have that. I wouldn't want somebody to come into the United States and spend money at one of the legal stores, say in Washington State, right there on the border with Canada, and actually, contribute to the economy here.
Yeah, if you're a Canadian, you come down and say, "Oh, I'm gonna go buy some cannabis in Washington," they're gonna throw you right back out.
And they said they might even ban you, or would it just be a temporary?
Yeah, it would be a lifetime ban.
Oh my God!
It would be a lifetime ban. Todd Owen, a senior official with U.S. Customs and Border Protection.
These people, before you go on, the level of seriousness they take this with this plant is just so ridiculous. The idea that somebody who is a cannabis smoker is somehow a threat to the United States, that they need to be questioned on this. It's just absolutely crazy. We'll get some more comments from the Border Patrol here in moments. Your calls and thoughts are also welcome. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And you can call on our Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. It's Free Talk Live.
The United States of Empire is a book that claims the United States is the empire of the world. George Washington had warned us against foreign wars. The United States of Empire shows that World Wars I and II left England broken. Its former colony, the U.S., had to save the empire. Was there ever a vote? Who do we fight for? The deep state began with World War I. The United States of Empire by James Dunn. Available at Amazon Books.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't going to make it.
Wait a minute.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me? Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial on in, toll free. You want to talk about cannabis legalization in Canada? It's happening real soon, like tomorrow, apparently. Some places you will be able to purchase it in stores. Others, you will not at all.
Not at all.
You have to order online. And then somebody will deliver it to you, apparently. Can't have more than 30 grams in your own personal possession. You cannot have more than 150 grams per household. You can, let's see, there's going to be different age restrictions in different provinces, many at age 19, a couple at 18. And although there's talk in Quebec about
cranking that up to 21, because apparently the Quebec province, if I recall correctly, when we had talked about this over the summer, was actually one of the most conservative of the provinces, trying to put as many restrictions as possible on the cannabis there.
They've got a conservative government now.
So conservative doesn't really mean much. I think it also has a huge nanny state just because there's something called the Quiet Revolution, where everything in Quebec used to be run by the Catholic Church. It was a voluntary thing, but they would run the hospitals, the schools, and then the government came in the 60s by Levesque, I think that was the prime minister, and they, basically everything was taken control of by the government, and because they could depend on tax money from the oil provinces and all around. So Quebec is seen as one gigantic leech, right? Like a lot of the supporters for Quebec to leave Canada were people from like Alberta and stuff who had to pay for Quebec's free healthcare, free medicine.
So they're like, get out.
So in Quebec, they're used to that's the thing. They're used to big government, but except the thing is, they're used to other people paying for it, right? And like because they're a minority, right? And there's I believe even being a Quebecer is a protected group by the United Nations or something. So they're used to having their language enforced by the government. They're used to so it's big. So they like big government because it mainly benefits them.
Right, and the comments I'd seen from their bureaucrats that were administering this program were, again, treating cannabis as though it's this dangerous drug that needs to have the strictest controls placed on it. And that's this government sort of mentality that's been around for so long, and it still continues, even in the face of all the evidence that shows that it's actually beneficial to so many people for medicinal purposes, that it doesn't actually do really anything of significance as far as, endangering people. It's one of the most harmless drugs known to man.
It's not even a drug, Ian. It's a plant.
Well, it's a plant that has chemicals in it, and chemicals that can alter your state of consciousness.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like when people say drug, right? They think of something like I think of something cooked up in a lab, right?
Yeah.
Like
alcohol's a drug
aspirin
too.
is like, in my view, aspirin is worse for your body than weed. And I think the one thing that a lot of Canadians all over should be asking their MPs is, members of Parliament and the government, is if this thing is as dangerous as you're saying it is, why are you selling it and trying to make money off of it?
Well, because they finally came to the conclusion they could actually make more money by selling it rather than cracking down on it.
Oh, basically. Absolutely, and that's. And that's the thing that people and this is what frustrates me in the U.S. and Canada, all over where there's people who are up in arms about cannabis. Marijuana is a propaganda term to invoke racist, anti-Mexican sentiment. Cannabis is a scientific word. Is that it's just one gigantic hoax. It's a fraud. Like just 100 years ago, people could go to the general store and buy cannabis. People would make things out of cannabis. It'd be good for like buildings and stuff. And then they just special interest groups decided to illegalize it just so, and it's all about special interests. It's all about money. It's all about greed, money, and control. And people don't see that because they're just a bunch of sheeple and are willing to get herded in by the wolf sheep.
Well, we'll get to the NPC meme here in a little bit, but Michael, before we go to your calls, you were about to share a quote from a Border Patrol spokesbureaucrat within the United States, excusing their behavior of banning people from Canada for life because they admit that they've smoked cannabis often enough by some arbitrary measure. So basically, it's all going to be up to the border guard, the individual border guard. And if the individual border guard asks you as you're coming into the United States from Canada, hey, so you've been smoking some of that legal weed? How often have you been smoking that legal weed? Well, I'm going to determine based on what you've said that you have a good chance of smoking some weed while you're in the United States, and that's against federal rules, so therefore you're banned forever. So there's a quote coming up.
There are multiple quotes here.
All right, let's hear it.
Todd Owen, a senior official with U.S. Customs and Border Protection, says if someone admits to smoking frequently in Canada, that will play into the officer's admissibility decision about whether they think on the specific trip they're also likely to engage in smoking marijuana in the United States as well. He goes on and says, it's now legal in Canada, so it comes down to whether the officer believes they may engage in the same activity while in the United States, based on the intent and purpose of their trip, as opposed to the legal engagement within Canada.
And there's a damn good chance, if they're a user in Canada, that they're going to find a way to use it in the United States.
Absolutely. Oh, it gets better. The globalnews.ca goes on. They say, however, U.S. border officials will make a distinction between whether a Canadian's past marijuana use was before or after legalization. So the Customs and Border Protection official says, when they are questioned by the officer during the interview process, if illegal drug use comes up, it could come down to pre-legalization or post-legalization, and the officer will make the corresponding decision about admissibility based on that.
And they're not saying what the factors are how they're going to factor into their decision.
Oh,
right?
they never do. They never do. That's all opaque. You're not supposed to know.
You're not supposed to know. Like, is the idea that if you did it while it was illegal, you're also a civilly disobedient person, and so therefore you're less desirable, but generally you're still less desirable because you're still doing something the federal government considers to be illegal? I mean, it's just bizarre.
And I will say this just to be, like constructive. As someone who's been across the border back and forth many, many times, if you want to avoid a lot of like the harsher border patrols, what you got to do is find the small border towns, like in Vermont and such, and go through there. Because like even on the American side, we're notorious for you see the Canada side just is where you're coming from, where you're going, how long do you plan to stay. It goes fast. The U.S. side, it's like backed up cars all the way into like the nearest town, and so except in small border states where even I'd be even surprised, or border towns, I'd be surprised at how nice the border patrol agents are in the U.S. for the exact same thing. It's like you just got to watch out for the major border crossing.
I don't know. I crossed the Rainbow Bridge coming back from Niagara Falls. I crossed it in the morning, and believe it or not, there was an open lane, no traffic.
And that's a major one, right?
Yeah, that's one of the major crossings.
Okay. What else? Is there more from
There's
Border
a
Patrol?
lot. There's
Let's
a
hear
lot
little more.
Owen, who's the Border Patrol guy, also said he would not expect that officers would be routinely asking people about their marijuana use. Owen also,
but they could.
They could. Owen also said that past marijuana convictions in Canada would continue to be a basis in being banned from the U.S., even if the person had been later pardoned in Canada or if marijuana convictions were expunged in an amnesty. He said, "We don't recognize the Canadian amnesty. That would still make you inadmissible into our country."
Wow.
And Canadians can be banned from
unless you pay. I wonder if the United States has the pay up to clear out your record thing like Canada does. So, like,
actually, yes, they do.
Yeah, I would figure they do.
The article does get into this in a bit. Canadians can be banned from the United States for being an abuser of marijuana, in quotes.
Don't hit my marijuana.
Asked how officers would decide what level of use constituted abuse, Owen would only say that it would be based on the facts and circumstances of the inspection and based on what the officer gleans from the inspection process.
Basically completely arbitrary. So if you look like a hippie, you smell like a hippie, you might be more likely to be questioned about marijuana use, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So does that mean I've got to get a buzz cut and wear a suit and tie when I cross the border now?
Probably wouldn't hurt.
It probably wouldn't hurt that much.
But then you'd be more like standard and more NPC-like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'd sell out. I'm not going to do that. You know what? I'd be either live free or be on the ground surrounded by Border Patrol agents.
All right, so if you want to join the discussion here, you're welcome to. I hope we get a chance to cover this NPC thing because it's people are talking about NPC. What is it?
Though, by the way, just real quick, the waiver, if you're banned, costs $930 US.
Wait, that's if you're banned?
If you're banned, you can apply for a waiver.
Okay.
It costs $930 US. That's about 1,300 Canadian.
And that's just an application fee. There's no guarantee you'll actually get it waived. There's more coming up here. This is Free Talk Live.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
The Liberty Dollar was so successful that the United States government had to take it down, and its founder, Bernard von Nothaus. Now Bernard's son Extra has launched Liberty Dollar 2. LD2 is a cryptocurrency, but each token is backed by the same gorgeous fine silver rounds that Liberty Dollar has always been known for. Your silver is secured in an audited vault and can be redeemed at any time. There's only a few thousand LD2 Zero tokens left in the crowd sale at ld2coin.io. Get yours. ld2coin.io.
If you owe any money to the IRS, you need to call this toll-free number right now. 800-511-2084. That's 800-511-2084. Uncle Sam has the power to make your life miserable. You could stop the collection process right now by calling 800-511-2084. That's 800-511-2084. When you call the Tax Support Group, you'll get free information on how you can reduce your back taxes, including penalties and interest. You could also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you have entered into a payment plan and can't make the payments. Stop Uncle Sam right now. Make the free call that could help you end the worry today. 800-511-2084. That's 800-511-2084. 800-511-2084. 800-511-2084.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on-demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long-distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial on in here toll free. Might have enough time to get you on if you call now. Our toll free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Also, don't forget, you can join us online. Head over to freetalklive.com, or you can become a Free Talk Live amplifier at amp.freetalklive.com, like Chip. Chip, who is a Free Talk Live Gold amplifier, meaning he's given $10 per month to Free Talk Live. So thank you for that, Chip. We really appreciate it. We ask 5 and appreciate everybody that does 5, but if you want to do more, you can, and that's what Chip did. You can join the AMP program at ampamp.freetalklive.com. It helps us get on more radio stations around the country. We've got 190 great radio stations today, and we could have more. We could have 300, 400. It's possible. We just, it takes time. It takes marketing effort, and that takes money. So please back the show up, and you'll get some cool perks, some benefits that typical listeners do not receive. You can get the full list of those over at amp.freetalklive.com. As we continue here, Stefan is in Ohio. He's on one of our Discord on-air call-in lines. Go ahead, Stefan.
The world is in disaster right now, and it is truly the apocalypse.
What's happening?
YouTube is down worldwide.
Really?
and has been for the past half hour.
Oh my God! Because I saw somebody complaining on our Discord chat that they couldn't. Something went wrong with our feed.
Yes, it's
on
not
YouTube.
And there's
What's coming up? A 404? A 502?
A 500. A 500. And here's the
It's
thing.
just blank windows. Vincent just pulled it up. The site's coming up, but all of the videos are just gray.
I've got the
and
basic
here's what's
site,
happening.
no videos.
There's This was happening a couple of days ago, and there's speculation that the Pakistani government, in an attempt to block YouTube because of some anti-Islamic content, is actually causing like the majority of the world to lose access to YouTube. It happened before.
No, that's not speculation. That actually happened about 9-10 years ago.
I thought
that's
that
something
was
they
just
actually
a
did.
Recent thing. I thought that was a recent thing.
How could Pakistani government have an effect on YouTube's connection to the whole world? Did they hack them?
It's not that they hacked them. It's that the there's an internet protocol called BGP, Border Gateway Protocol. It's basically what all the ISPs basically in the world are connected to each other, and they use the Border Gateway Protocol to decide which way packets get routed.
Okay.
And what Pakistan did, or what one of Pakistan's ISPs did, is they were trying to obey an order to censor YouTube in Pakistan. So the ISP screwed up and did something with BGP to tell instead of blocking YouTube in the whole country, they told the rest of the ISPs to send all the YouTube traffic in the world to them.
And the other ones just went along with it?
Yeah, there is absolutely no security in BGP. It's like one of the internet's dark, dirty secrets.
Wow. And so, do you think that's happening again in this case, or is this just a? Well, I mean, no, we have no idea.
I don't know if that's what Stefan is saying. That's what's happening again, but that's what happened last time.
It's being floated, nowadays with governments trying all of this censorship crap.
So people are going to be freaking out, right? Because so many people watch YouTube. Like, this is like the equivalent of people losing their cell phone, right? Like, they don't know how to handle it.
There's nothing on the news right now. I typed in YouTube into Google News and nothing about it.
Yeah, I got nothing either.
Well, Google runs YouTube.
Oh, it's a good place.
It's possible.
Let's go to DuckDuckGo.
I don't have much more to add. Just want to let you know, all aboard the censorship train.
What do you know, Stefan, about the NPC meme? Have you been following this NPC thing?
I think
Is he gone?
Dude, Arby's has a new menu item. Oh, it looks so good. It's like rib sandwich or something.
We don't have an Arby's around here.
NPC sandwich?
Yeah. Anyway, we can talk about the NPC thing here in a moment. Let's go to David in New Mexico. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, David. David, New Mexico. Hello. Oh, wait, I missed him. Sorry, let's try it again. David in New Mexico, we got you now. Go ahead. Oh, he's listening on some other device, which is going to mean there's some kind of a delay, which was, I understand that's frustrating. So we're going to actually bring Sarah on, and we'll try David back here in a moment. Sarah in New Mexico, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Yes, I mailed back my absentee ballot yesterday. So I voted like 3 weeks before the election date. And so 23,000 people in our state have voted already, early or by absentee. And we got 3 more weeks to go. So I think we're going to have a really large turnout. And I think our voters is getting the hang of voting here. And they're getting like...
You think it's that hard to vote? I mean, do you have to like get a hang of voting? It's not that hard to vote. You know, you go and punch a chat or circle in a box or
no,
whatever.
and you go to the Democratic Party headquarters, and then they go and they give you a list and name a bunch of dead people, and then you go and vote for them.
No,
yeah.
That's a conspiracy.
No,
theory.
it's absolutely true. In like Philadelphia and places. And sorry, Sarah, go ahead.
Well, the mail ballot is quite confusing because you have to ask for the application, and they have to get it in writing, and then they send you out a mail ballot, and it has to be mailed in by like 7 o'clock that day.
Well, that's good. It's by design. It's to prevent stupid people. It's to weed out the stupid people from voting. Although I think all early voting shouldn't be a thing, just because it gives people who have a high time preference, stupid people who can't take some time to go and vote. Yeah, I mean, it's just terrible.
Thanks for the call, Sarah. Appreciate that. One more try here on David in New Mexico. Go ahead, David.
Yeah, you there?
Yep, we're here. Go ahead.
Just coincidentally, I'll tell you about it another time, but I just
what the hell's that?
Pranked. Hang on. Sorry. Stupid WhatsApp. You still there?
I got you. You punked and pranked who?
Yeah, I got through for the 7th time on air by blocking my phone number, changing my voice, and getting on with an actual candidate. And because I'm banned, blocked
from the local talk station,
whatever from local talk station. Anyway, I just said that because I just before I talked to you, I just did that.
How'd you punk them?
I was calling to tell you about. So they got me banned, and the funny thing is from Pat Frisch, the station manager, all the way down, they know my voice better than they know any other voice that has ever called them. And yet I've gotten through like 7 different times by blocking my phone number, not even spoofing my phone number, but by blocking it. And then
a lot of calls, a lot of talk radio stations don't actually even have caller ID. I don't know if I've ever seen it. I'm sure there are some that do. I mean, by no means have I been in a lot of talk radio stations, but I've been in a handful. David, thank you for the call tonight. Appreciate it. Anyway, the NPC meme, and I wish we had more time to discuss it, but this was something that came up on your show recently, Vincent, on Questioning Authority Saturday nights on LRN.FM.
Thank you for the
from
plug.
10 to midnight Eastern Time. You were live here in the Keene studios. Where did this start?
So it began on 4chan, where someone had a theory that there's only a certain number of souls out there, right? And because there's the population boom, there's not enough souls to fill all the bodies, right? So there's some people who are just mindless vessels. I don't personally I appreciate the NPC meme, but I don't personally buy that.
You don't believe that, yeah.
No, I don't believe. I think my view of the NPC meme, it just shows like there's people who've been dumb. It's like about inner monologues, right? People who don't have inner thoughts, they just sort of like react to programming. It's called NPC meme.
NPC stands for non-player character. It's a term for video games where you're like, you're in some sort of video game world and you interact with a computer-controlled character.
And
That's
they have
what an
canned
NPC
responses and can never do anything for themselves, right? They always give you the quests. And so I think it's people have become like that, where they can't think for themselves. They don't even think because of the mixture of like watching, screen time, television since birth, which lowers which messes up mental
now they're going to have to go somewhere
Fluoride.
else besides YouTube, because they can't distract themselves with that.
The whole internet should be an EMP detonated
meme.
over the planet to make everything better.
Let's describe the meme. It's a gray-faced character that apparently is a variant on a previous meme, because a lot of memes come off of other memes.
Yeah, Wojak.
Wojak, which is a MS Paint character, very poorly drawn, kind of sad-looking character. And they've taken that character and pulled whatever humanity was in him out and sort of made it this flat gray with this sort of very sharp nose, this sort of L-shaped nose, and this sort of vacant look, basically. And the suggestion here is that there's so many people out there that are these NPCs in real life. Now, obviously everybody is in their own place in life, and they don't, just because they don't have an appreciation for the same things that you do doesn't mean they don't have a soul.
Well, but Ian, it's not appreciation, right? Because people could have, there could be like a communist person who's not an NPC. It's just these people, they've been dumbed down. They don't think for themselves. They're just mindless consumers, and that's what the government wants. They want mindless consumers and tax cattle.
That is definitely what they want. And some of these NPC memes are pretty funny. I mean,
and it's true. It's true. Like, I saw one that looks like this chick I've been trying to talk to. I'm like, and I said, that's how we found out about it. I'm like, oh my God, it's perfect. It's Tinder. These thoughts.
Right. There's thought stands for that hoe over there. It's another internet slang term. But there's some pretty funny stuff here. Check out Know Your Meme on NPC. You might be seeing this thing around the internet, not realizing what it is you're looking at. Maybe we can talk more about it on another episode in the future. Or maybe on your show, Vincent.
Absolutely.
Questioning Authority on Saturday nights.
Check it in, people. Wake up, sheeple. Wake up, the sheeple. Go to Questioning Authority.
Go to Questioning Authority. You don't even have a website.
Facebook.com/Questioning Authority show.
Wait, they didn't take your site down yet? What are you going to do when they take down your site? You don't even have a website. We'll see you tomorrow. freetalklive.com. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com.
Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, October 16th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.84 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,232 per ounce. Zen is trading at $13, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,552. Antiwar.com reports multiple sources are quoted by CNN as saying that the Saudi Arabian government is preparing a report that will admit that journalist Jamal Khashoggi was, as long suspected, killed inside the Saudi consulate in Istanbul earlier this month. Exact details of what the Saudis are willing to admit are not yet finalized, but they will abandon the previous claim that Khashoggi's visit was uneventful and that he left safely. Instead, they will say he was captured and interrogated within the consulate and that the interrogation went wrong and he died in the process. Exactly what sort of enhanced interrogation techniques were involved in killing the journalist are uncertain, but officials say that the report will conclude that the killing was done without prior clearance as a way of shifting responsibility for the death away from Saudi leadership and towards the interrogators. Either way, this seems to still be a problem for the Saudi kingdom as they still killed a journalist during what was supposed to be a routine visit to a consulate, and on top of that, spent weeks lying about it. This is likely to be a big focus for Secretary of State Mike Pompeo's newly announced visit to Saudi Arabia. President Trump has downplayed the entire affair and suggested days ago that rogue killers were to blame. Even if the Saudis admit to killing the journalist, Trump has rejected the notion of any action that would threaten massive U.S. arms sales to the Saudis, saying that the U.S. would be punishing itself by losing the sales. Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They're working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform and generate income from them. This will allow Horizon to bring thousands of real-life services to the community, services that provide freedom, utility, and privacy. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community, HORIZEN.global. UPI reports a federal judge dismissed a defamation lawsuit by Stormy Daniels against President Donald Trump. On Monday, U.S. District Judge S. James Otero ruled the tweet at the center of Daniels' lawsuit was rhetorical hyperbole, which is protected by the First Amendment rather than defamation. Otero also ordered Daniels to pay Trump's legal fees for the suit. Otero ruled if this court were to prevent Mr. Trump from engaging in this type of rhetorical hyperbole against the political adversary, it would significantly hamper the office of the president. Michael Avenatti, a lawyer for Stormy Daniels, tweeted that he had filed an appeal against the ruling with the Ninth Circuit Court. She and Avenatti also filed a lawsuit against Trump and his former personal attorney, Michael Cohen, over the $130,000 payment made to prevent her from speaking publicly about her alleged affair with Trump. Avenatti said Daniels' other claims against Trump and Cohen would proceed unaffected by Monday's ruling. In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake Security Company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. But at what cost? And can anyone stop him? Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports the U.S. Supreme Court on Monday rejected appeals by 3 paint manufacturers challenging a California court ruling that held them liable for millions of dollars in damages related to the use of lead paint decades ago. The justices left in place the lower court's 2017 ruling that endorsed a trial judge's finding that the companies had created a public nuisance by concealing dangers posed by lead paint, which can cause brain damage if ingested. The appeals were brought by Sherwin-Williams, ConAgra, and NL Industries. Lead paint was banned by the U.S. government in 1978 for use in homes, but remains a top cause of lead poisoning, especially for children. The California Appeals Court said the companies were liable for the cost of lead abatement in homes built before 1951. The long-running litigation, dating back to the year 2000, stems from a complaint filed against the companies by 10 local jurisdictions in California, including Los Angeles County and the city of San Francisco. Santa Clara County Superior Judge James Kleinberg in 2014 ordered the companies to pay $1.15 billion into a fund used to locate lead paint in homes in 7 counties and 3 cities, and then to remove it from those residences. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Now Facebook is rolling out their newest feature, LifePoint, which analyzes